win, but it's not an easy game, I should say. But it's not like you're playing Manchester City, who are in the running for the title.
And then
you're playing a Manchester City with nothing to play for. You're playing Arsenal, and we all know about Arsenal. Like,
and then
you are probably gonna have one eye on the FA Cup final. So Arteta's probably gonna rest players.
I think they've done him dirty, yo.
Yes.
He's done him dirty. I can see it now. I didn't know that was the next 2 games. But for me, the club has I was gonna say it in a different way then. The club have seen those last 2 fixtures, had no faith in the manager, and just sacked him. But how can you have no faith in him, but you are the ones who employed him? Do you get what I'm saying? So that makes no sense.
It makes zero sense.
Zero. Like
that's people who run football. You've gave me this job to do, and I'm on course to do what you wanted me to do. So why sack me before I've got the chance to do it? They never had faith with him from the first place.
Yeah, I think we need to put something in place now. The FA need to start looking into this and putting something in place with managers.
Well, you reckon there should be a manager transfer window?
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. I think there should be a manager transfer, maybe not a manager transfer window, but I think managers should get a certain amount of time. Right. I think there should be like, right, you're gonna have at least 1 season. Do you get what I'm saying? Because for those type of teams, maybe not for every team, but for if you change your managers so often, you know what I mean? Like Watford have had so many managers in the past few years that you lose track. You know what I mean? Well, you're like, oh wait.
Yes, because this is now, if they've sacked Pearson, so if they hire another manager, this would be, even though Pearson's been there twice, that'll be their 4th manager if I'm correct.
Yeah, this season. That's ridiculous.
4 managers in a season.
A season?
Yeah, but here's the thing that's ludicrous to me as well. Aston Villa, so who they're fighting for safety with. Aston Villa's next 2 games are Arsenal and West Ham. So both of them have got to play Arsenal.
Yeah. So you've got a chance. For me, yes. that makes no sense.
Because you're playing 2 teams. One thing you want towards the back end of the season, when you are either fighting relegation or in the running for a title or top 4, you want teams who have nothing to play for or have a final to look at. Arsenal are going to be that. Both eyes of theirs are now on the FA Cup final.
Yeah.
So we could see Arteta resting players.
Nothing else matters now.
Nothing else matters to them. City have nothing else to play for. They can't finish first, and they're not going to get caught by anybody else. Yeah. So they're literally playing for nothing. Like
City's just Champions League done, innit?
City's just Champions League. Salute to people in the comments. We are back now live on YouTube. We had some issues. Shout out Georgiev, who says, big up people expecting criticism on Ollie and United players. Oh, we gonna get there. Stefan says, hi guys. Salute to Stefan. Faris says, salute guys. That's better. Appreciate it. Obviously, we're trying to do our best to make this work. So yeah, we should be all right. And we will get to as many of the comments as possible. So please make sure, if you are watching this on YouTube, like the video and subscribe to the Pi Radio YouTube.
And if you want, and obviously with your comments, if you want your comments read early, just make sure you put the super chats in so we can spot them.
Get your supers, so make sure we don't miss it, because obviously there's 3 of us here and there's a lot to discuss. Yeah. There's 3 people. We have 6 people's worth of opinions between the 3 of us, so that's what it is. And if you are listening on DAB Radio, we appreciate that as well. Stay tuned in. Or if you're on the Pi Radio app or the website, wherever, from a Third Eye View every Monday, 7 p.m. till 9. But yeah, back on the Pearson thing, like, I couldn't believe it. I don't think it's ever happened. You might know better than me and JV, sure. Has this ever happened where a manager's been sacked with 2 games to go?
No. Because you can't do it. I've seen it.
No, what are they trying to do? What are they thinking?
I've seen it with 5 games to go. Never 2. Because this is the problem. It's almost as if you're either you think you're going to get the manager bounce with 2 games to go, which isn't going to happen, because you look at what Pearson did. He brought Watford back together, because Watford were broken when he first took over. Yeah. Troy Deeney wasn't playing because obviously he was injured. The dressing room was all over the place. You look at what he's done with Troy Deeney. Troy Deeney's back to playing his best football.
Well, this is the thing of having a English manager, or a manager who's in the league managing in England long enough to know what Troy Deeney's about and what he does. That was the whole problem. The other manager didn't rate him based purely on ability, which I do understand.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's more than that. He adds more than that. Do you know what I mean? Like, for me, it seems a bit strange how, it's not strange. It seems to me like since they've had Deeney back and then Welbeck's come back in the past few months or so, their results have picked up because you've got some genuine quality.
Yeah, they got Andre Gray. Like, and this is the big thing that frustrates me the most about this Watford decision. You look at Aston Villa; they've not got out-and-out goal scorer you can point at and say he's going to get them 3 points in this game. You look at Watford, they've got Troy Deeney, phenomenal, unbelievable leader, great for that dressing room, and he demands so much from the players. And you can see that the difference when he's in the team and when he's not in the team is night and day. Andre Gray showed glimpses at Burnley. He's been unlucky at Watford, but there's still a player in there. And
still a goal scorer in it.
And then Danny Welbeck, you don't even need to describe anything with Danny Welbeck. You know exactly what you're going to get.
Yeah, you know what you're going to get.
He's a natural goal scorer. You can't say that with Aston Villa. So what are you doing? You are literally turning around to the Championship and going, look, I know you've just lost Leeds. Yeah, you can have us back now if you want.
Oh, super chat. Georgiev, sorry to cut you off. What do you guys think will happen with Poch? With Poch, what I'm going to say is somebody will pick him up. That caliber of manager will not be without a job for too long. Put it this way, I think Poch has already turned down jobs because he's in a great position in terms of, even though he's been sacked, his reputation hasn't taken a hit. It's improved him. He was at Southampton, his reputation went up. He went to Spurs, his reputation went up.
That's what I mean. Both them clubs he enhanced while he was there.
Yes, even though he didn't win a trophy at Spurs, what he has done is he elevated Spurs as a club.
Yes.
To the point where now people expect more from Spurs. And that's why Mourinho is now getting it in the neck, so to speak, because Spurs have, what's the word I'm looking for? Because Spurs are not where they was. How Pochettino took Spurs to a Champions League final, that's an incredible feat. I don't care what anybody says. They lost, but that's an incredible feat to get that team to a final. And then you see what's going on with Mourinho, and it's like, wow, Poch was working miracles with these lot, which he was. I don't understand how all of a sudden you can get to a Champions League final and it doesn't mean anything. But then when you look at the GOATs, when we talk about the GOATs, that competition is why people put Messi in that conversation. I don't like it being both ways. It's either the Champions League you don't rate or the Champions League you rate highly.
Yes.
I put it on the pedestal of I rate it highly.
There's no in between.
That's the top club competition, without a doubt.
This is what I'm saying. Yeah. But people will, for the Messi GOAT conversation, will say, oh, Messi's the GOAT because of that competition. But then when Poch gets to the final, oh, it was fluke. They lost in the final anyway. Yeah. They should have not been in the final.
You know, it all depends on. Yeah, no, there's no way they
shouldn't have been.
You know what was more for me personally, the more impressive thing about that run to the final was those two games, the City game and the Ajax game.
Yeah, both crazy.
Those were you know what? Both of them actually will probably go down in history as memorable top Champions League games.
Yes. Well, them two semi-final games, sorry to cut you off, them two semi-final games, you had the Tuesday, which was us to Barcelona 4-0, and everyone's like, oh my God, this is ridiculous.
I remember that actually.
And then it went from that to the 3-2, and Mora with the last minute goal, and it was like, you will never recreate a semi-final like them two games.
I remember even the commentator saying, oh, if we have a game like last night, we'll be, you know what I mean?
And then they had a game like last night.
You know what I'm saying?
And then it's a toss-up between which one you prefer because they're both absolutely insane.
That's the only thing with that season which let it down was the final. Do you get what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, no, I'm not like,
the final was terrible.
I'm not saying because Liverpool.
No, it was the worst game of football in a final I've ever seen.
Because Liverpool won. I don't care.
That's what I think. But I'm saying in terms of, you know, the actual matches. Yeah. If we take our United eyes off for a sec, only for a quick sec.
Yeah, we do that often on the show.
Yeah, we do.
No, if you take your football eyes off, it was an awful game of football.
Yeah, it was dreadful, innit? It was dreadful.
You're just happy you won straw and that's that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you know what? Even that type of game, if I was a Liverpool fan watching that game, you know why the game's so bad? Bad games like that make me nervous.
Yeah, it was bad.
It could go any at any second. Like, that's the type of game, like, someone could just get, like, a deflection and, do you know what I mean? So, going back to the original point, those two games were more standout for me than the actual him getting to the final. Do you get what I mean? But in terms of Poch, it will be very interesting to see where other big teams are thinking, where they're thinking of going, you know, with their managers. Like, I can't think of a club off the top of my head at the moment in Europe.
The one that sticks out is Newcastle, just because of the takeover.
Yes.
Newcastle, if they get taken over, we've seen, and this is going to, ironically, we were talking about Nigel Pearson. We've seen Pearson go back. If it all goes pear-shaped for Mourinho at Spurs, which I do believe it will, maybe Daniel Levy looks at it and goes, maybe I try and get Poch back in and this time give him some money.
I don't think he goes back. That was very messy how they got rid of him.
It's messy how they got rid of him, but I think if they back him with the right money, he would go back. And I think Spurs fans would have him back.
Do you know what it is with Spurs and leave it? I honestly believe he'd probably tell him that you're gonna get this, you're gonna get that, you're gonna get this, you're gonna get that. Give it a year, it will break down again. Leave it, will be like, nah. You know what I mean? For me, now he's got to go. For me, you know where he could end up?
Go on.
Barcelona.
This is what I'm saying. He's got. But did he not manage Espanyol, if I'm correct?
Oh yeah, he's
so because of the Barcelona, yeah.
But
hey,
opportunity.
It's the opportunity.
He's Argentinian. He'd probably want to manage Messi before his time's done.
That's a great point.
Do you get what I'm saying?
And I'm not sure.
He can end up in Italy because Sarri's not exactly liked by Juventus, because obviously him and Ronaldo were clashing already.
See, this is what I'm saying. Options. We talking about Barcelona, depending on his Espanyol links. We talking about him clashing with Ronaldo at Juventus. Who knows? Because supposedly Messi's contract's up at 2021, and I seen a meme. And it was like Messi and Ronaldo both in Juventus shirts. I'd love to see that from a footballing aspect. Those two in the same team.
That would be...
I'd love to see it.
I don't think there's no comparison in sports. Maybe basketball.
Yeah, the only thing that will come close is basketball.
Yes.
Like the Chicago Bulls team.
Yeah. Like super teams.
Yeah.
That's what he
calls them. You know what I mean? Like basketball.
Yeah. Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah. Basketball's the only sport I think can do that financially.
Yes.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But to be honest, would Juventus be able to afford him?
Yeah.
But
you know what? They'd make it work.
They'd make it work. What I could probably see happening, if it's on a free, then they'd probably get rid of a Dybala, wouldn't they?
Yeah, and plus you'd make it back on your shirt sales anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Like through the roof. Like I'd be going out of my way to watch Juventus games. Like Juventus.
Like here's the thing, though.
See those two together.
Yeah.
That's football manager.
That's
dream stuff.
Just as a manager, yeah. I would actually, if I was a manager and I had Messi and Ronaldo, 4-4-2.
Oh yeah.
4-4-2. You man, do your thing. Imagine watching Messi and Ronaldo do 1-2s and attack a defense.
Yes.
That is wow.
Imagine what you could do with the marketing. So it's like, how much is a football shirt? 50 quid?
Yeah.
You could go, I'll give you both Messi and Ronaldo shirts for 80 quid. You know for a fact they'd sell out.
Yeah.
If you did it as a duo.
I am not gonna lie. So yeah, we're talking about Juventus. Then there's a possibility of Barcelona. You're looking at Spurs, Newcastle if they get taken over. Depending on what goes on with not Arsenal. Depending on what goes on.
Any of the top 6 teams.
United,
any of the top 6 teams. Anything can happen.
Depending what happens with Lampard at Chelsea, you never know. Like there's options there.
It could
depending
be
on what happens. Sorry to cut you off with Pep at City.
Yes.
PSG.
Like, PSG. He's got a lot of options.
PSG always got the name in the hat.
Yeah, he's got a lot. We named like 7-8 clubs there. So like Poch has a lot of options.
It's crazy, you know, because...
Last point on it, go.
He's at a point in his career now where he's probably doing what I'm about to say. He's thinking everything over really finely. And, you know, if he is getting offers, he's probably like looking into everything on a scale to make sure that things are working in his way. And do you get what I mean?
I fully get what you're saying.
So it's one of them. He might even be better off when a club is halfway through a season and they're not in a good shape, a big team, and then he gets that job, you know what I mean? Rather than a full start to a season just because of how things are going. But yeah, very good point there.
Very good point. So yeah, the reason why we went on to the Poch topic, for anyone who is tuned in and not watching on the YouTube, Georgie have dropped a super chat asking us about Poch. So like I said, to anyone who's watching on YouTube, we will try and get to all the comments we can. But,
very good point that from Stefan.
Stefan
he
says he played for his PSG. That's what it is. You know what? I've seen something actually.
Kocha and Ronaldinho and all them.
Kocha, Ronaldinho, Gabriel Ain't-Up were all there. And now they were all there at the same time.
Bruno Ngotti.
There at the same time. But yeah, like I said, we're going to try and get to all the comments we can. But obviously, super chat, we will interject whatever conversation we're having and take over the super chat straight away. But back to, where was we going after Nigel Pearson?
FA Cup.
All right, let's go FA Cup semi-final. All right, let's start with United. Let's go. Let's go. Here we go. Like, I've been saying this on this radio for months. David De Gea should have been dropped. I've been saying this for yonks. Go back and check the archive.
Should have been dropped in a different way. Someone needs to, in that dressing room, needs to drop him.
Yo, someone needs to Roy Keane, like you said.
Someone needs to drop him.
And I've been saying this time and time again. Now it takes for him to... Like, because I've just been set and people have tried to call me negative and say I'm not positive and I have agendas and we're to turn all this nonsense. No, I judge things as I see it. This guy, as a goalkeeper, is not good enough. Like, look, why does it have to be prevention is better than cure? My mum always tells me that. Yeah, prevention is better than cure.
Flawless dropping jewels.
You get me? That's what I'm saying. My mum's on point with it. Prevention is better than cure. So it's like, why does it take for him to now cost Manchester United a place in the FA Cup final for people to be like, all right, let's drop him? He should have been dropped.
You know what it is with this brother now, yeah? He is... you know what? This is where we'll go with it.
Go on.
Because Stroll said to save this point for today. Is there anyone, and I want everyone who's listening, get in the comments now. Get in the comments now, and I want your opinions on what I'm saying. I want you to join in with this one. Has there been a player who has had a harsher fall from grace than David De Gea that you can honestly think? Like, so when I'm saying that, I'm saying at De Gea's prime,
top class.
You could argue he was probably the best goalkeeper in the world. You could argue that, and you could have a very good argument, and you'd probably end up being right at that time.
He was literally the best goalkeeper in the world, and world class for like 4 years straight.
Yeah, like it was undebatable.
The only one that I put close to it, but he didn't have the same longevity, was Torres.
Yeah.
You see, that's
the only one.
I sat long and hard and I thought about Torres.
Yeah, see, Stefan and Georgie have both said Torres. He's the closest.
The closest.
Oh, yeah, I just want to say to people as well, if you are in the YouTube comments, don't swear because YouTube will automatically block it. So make sure you don't swear. Just star it out. I understand you're angry. Get it off your chest. I'm saying either change the word or star it out.
Yeah, we won't get it.
Yeah.
The only thing with Torres is, at the time when Torres was on fire, and this is where it comes with other players, because I thought Sanchez had a mighty fall from grace.
He did, but he was never the best in the world.
Yes, this is my point.
Whereas Torres, sure, you'll be able to tell us better. I think he was in the conversation at that point.
He was in the conversation, but by the end of the conversation, if we're talking best, you could always say Messi and Ronaldo. So it's hard, isn't it?
2008.
At that point, them two, when Ronaldo was with us, he wasn't a 9 at that point.
2008.
He was more wide right. Because I remember when they did the Team of the Year, when United pipped Liverpool to the title, and they did on Sky Sports the best 11, and Ronaldo was wide right, and Torres was through the middle. I can't remember the rest of the team.
2008, Torres was the best striker in the world.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But the thing that's so fascinating about this conversation is, normally when players have fall from graces, for example, like Torres, they've got big injuries.
Yes.
De Gea's not had a big injury.
That's what I was going to get onto with Torres. Torres had problems.
Yeah, he had injuries. And normally that's it. So you know what that tells you with David De Gea? It's all mental in his mind.
Yes.
All of a sudden he's not become incapable. He can't catch a ball. Like, it's all mental because
I've got it.
He's comfortable.
Adriano,
yeah.
Adriano's in
You know what?
He's in the conversation.
Do you know what? That's one player I'd go with, but he's had something go on. His dad died. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. But mentally,
there's still something what's happened. Like, I don't know if something's happened to De Gea and it's just not gone public, and they've kept it under. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But for me, like, even if something has happened to him, it's been a long time.
Yeah, he's been bad for 2. It's been this season and last season.
Nah, it's like 3. I'd say this is the 3rd year now. But do you know what it is? Do you know what it is with him? Do you know what it is with him? He had this period where it was really bad for a bit, and then he went back to old De Gea. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
It brushes it over, doesn't it? Do you get where I'm coming from?
I know exactly what you mean.
But he's like, now, like, I had someone yesterday say to me, Joe Hart. I was like, come on, are you serious? Do you know what I mean? There's no comparison.
That was Twitter because he had the gas. Remember when people were trying to proclaim he was the best goalkeeper in the world? But we've seen that happen with. He
wasn't the best
players.
goalkeeper in the Premier League. Yeah, he wasn't. Because for me, if you want to throw Joe Hart in the conversation, De Gea was at United then. So there's no. I've never had Joe Hart as a top 10 goalkeeper in the world.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I was fully with that, and I remember the tournament he played for England, and he was making mistakes when Nasri did him at the near post.
Right, don't you remember that Iceland?
Yeah, there we go.
Do you know what I mean?
There's many mistakes we could go through with Joe Hart. But yeah, go on back onto the
Gea.
point. Yeah,
with him now, it's getting to the point, and I said this yesterday on Aaron's show, and I'll say it again. He was almost robotic. He was godlike in his goalkeeping.
Yeah,
and he's ended up going from looking like the Terminator in goal to the perpetrator. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I cried when I heard you say that yesterday.
He's gone from the Terminator to the perpetrator. For you who don't know what perpetrator is, it's the one he's the op. He's like he's for me now. He's the reason we're losing games. Literally every game we've lost now, recently, it's something to do with him.
Yes, and this is my point. Goes back to my original point. How many mistakes does somebody have to make before they are dropped? We've seen Van Gaal drop him. He I counted it up. This is again shout out to Mr. Aaron United. Make sure you go subscribe to his YouTube channel because you can catch myself, JV, and Stroll all on there at different points. How many mistakes is he gonna make? Like even forget the rest of the season before. So you Watford mistake and Everton. From the restart, he has made 4 mistakes. He made 2 yesterday.
Horrible.
He made one against Bournemouth when he got beat at his near post, and then the one against Spurs. That's 4 mistakes. You've played 6 matches.
That's horrible.
You've played 6 matches and have made 4 mistakes.
Check this one out. Any other player. So if we take his name out there, if that's a sentence, and we take the name De Gea out, and we put in
Carriers.
Woo! Talk about it. Let's go. Yeah, me. Talk about it. Let's go in it. Let's go.
Pogba there, bro.
Let's go. I'm shouting because that's
there
facts.
will be a 50-year-old Scottish man on Sky Sports News telling you this guy is a virus.
Yes.
Yeah?
Let's go.
This guy will tell you that Pogba is a worse virus than Corona.
Yes.
Yeah?
Say it
That is
loud.
where these men will be going with this.
Say it louder for the people in the back.
In the back? Can you hear me?
Serious.
You get me?
Let's
They will
talk-
tell you.
Preach to the choir.
Yes, let's talk about it.
Do you get what I'm
Because this
saying?
guy has made 4 mistakes. If someone in the comments correct me, in let's say 7 games or however many times.
Even now,
4
because
in 7.
we're getting this anti-Maguire army who are
We'll
against Maguire.
We'll get to Maguire. I just
No, but
wanna
I'm
go
saying
in. Yeah, go on.
if any other player, but especially your all right then. There's another thing. His body language. Yeah. If a certain Tony Marshall had the body language of David De Gea, he would be getting it on every major football sports media platform. They would be telling you he doesn't want to be at the club. In all the time of De Gea making his mistakes, I've not seen him have any sort of body language that makes me want to think he wants to be at Man United. He has the worst body language from a player I've seen in a very long time. A lot worse than Anthony Martial. Do you know why? Because when Martial does something good, he at least smiles. Yeah? And when he's happy, he's happy. I don't actually see De Gea smile. Yeah? This guy isn't happy.
He does look very miserable. And I don't
Guy's
like to
miserable on 300k. Does he need a slap? Go work in Aldi, bro. Go do something else where you know what I mean? You're on 300k. You're getting paid to perform.
Yeah.
We're not paying you to just turn up and be there. You're getting paid to perform. You're one of the highest paid people at the club.
That's the
we could
worst
get
thing.
rid of you right now, and we could get someone who would not have your credit, which you've built up with us in good performances, but they would be performing better than you are now.
Well,
and I think that credit is what is keeping him in the team. But he's, for me now, that credit has been expunged. That's been used. That's been used over and over.
You know what it's like? It's like you being with your woman, yeah? So you have this woman, and for the first 3-4 years of the relationship, it's fantastic. It's great. And then you get to the 5th, 6th, and 7th year, and then it just goes, she just stops trying.
It's sloppy, innit?
Yeah.
It's getting sloppy now. You know what I mean? It was fire at the start. Lingeries and them thing there.
Yeah. But now she just in big t-shirts and that.
Donald Duck pajamas have come out and them thing there. Mickey Mouse pajamas from back in the day.
Pink tracksuit, Ugg
Yeah,
boots.
you know what I'm saying?
Yo, Sarah just invests in that.
Yeah.
Like, yo, hair's not done.
Coming to the door to check and she's in Ugg boots. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm just trying to tell you.
You get what I'm saying?
But that's my whole point.
He's overly comfortable.
That's what he is. He is. Yes.
Yeah,
he's
because
overly comfortable, like
he
someone in a
knows
long-term relationship. Yes.
he knows he's not going to get dropped.
Yes.
Romero only plays in cup competitions, and he didn't even play in a cup competition.
You know how mad it is? If I was you know what? This situation is very similar for me to an Angel Gomez. This is a Romero, how I'm saying from this perspective. Romero, I expect to leave us in the summer. Yeah. I expect him to leave us in the summer because for me, this is similar to an Angel Gomez sat on the bench watching a Lingard, a Pereira, a Mata with no legs getting ahead of him. If I was Romero right now, as much as they're both Spanish speaking, so they're probably brethren, I'd be like, yo, why am I not getting in? For me, everyone's saying, oh, what should we do? I'd sell him and I'd check this. I'd sell him and I wouldn't. Everyone's saying, should Henderson get in? No. I'd sell him. Yeah. Romero number 1, Henderson bench. And we can monopolize between them.
The reason why I wouldn't go Henderson bench,
I don't think Henderson's ready.
I wouldn't want to stop his run of form. I'm unsure if he's 100% ready, but there's only one way to find out is throw him in. And then if he's not good enough, then I will put Romero in and put him on the bench.
Do you know why I wouldn't want to do that?
Go on, why?
Because he's young.
Yeah.
there's not a lot of pressure on him at Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Not at all. By the time, here's the thing as well, by the time we probably get our hands back on him at United, he's probably already will have an England debut. Or he will get one soon after.
The thing is, in the scenario we have, United are not in a luxury position. United cannot afford to wait. Because I don't want to bring, like, whether Henderson's at United next season or he's at Sheffield United, he needs to be playing first team football as the number one.
Do you know what it
so
was
if it's
as
not
well?
at United, then he should be at, Then he should be at Sheffield United. I don't want to see him on the bench. So if we're going to play Romero number one, cool. I'd look, if Romero was number one next season and De Gea was number two, I'd be cool with that.
Or even do that then,
I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, check that one out.
All I'm saying is...
I mean, does he have... De Gea wears the one in it.
Yeah.
I would go as far as you want to take Martial's 9 off him. Yeah. Take the one off him. Take the one off him, bro. Take that off him.
You know what? Van Gaal did it to him, like I said. Just stick him on the bench for the start of the season. Even if you leave him with just to let him know you are not comfortable. Because I guarantee this. There's people in the comments talking about Maguire and stuff like that. We'll get to that. I guarantee the next game, De Gea will start.
Yeah, he will.
Maguire will start. Lindelof will start.
No.
One second.
It's different with the defence. Because there's no adequate replacements. You've actually got someone in Romero who, if we look at all of these De Gea mistakes and we live in some weird fantasy land where we can rewind these matches and put Romero in there for those mistakes. Are you telling me that one that one yesterday from that Giroud one? Was it that first one?
Yeah, the first one. You talking about the cross.
For me, he has to sit on that. You just boom.
No, you know what he has to do? Just save it. Because you're good with your feet. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's your...
But this is what I mean.
Yeah, that's what he's known for.
Yes.
So it surprised me that he went with his hands.
Jeez. Oh, my. But yeah.
He's got to go.
Georgiev, so Faris here calls him Harry Titanic Guile. I'm trying to say he moves like the Titanic. Georgiev says, yes, the game was the final straw for me with David De Gea. I backed him for so long, but enough is enough. I've been done with this guy. I've been like I said, go back and listen to shows.
Yeah, listen to the shows, man. You'll hear me.
I've been done with this guy. The most disappointing thing with him is he was fantastic the game before. He was good against Palace.
Do you know what it is?
But then the game before that, go on.
You just made me remember.
Yeah.
How long has he been at us now? About 10 years.
It's been a long time because he was there when Fergie was there.
Yeah, so you know how you got to put it now. If he's all right then. Fergie retired in what 2013.
Mm-hmm.
De Gea was there at least 3 years with Fergie.
It was at least 2.
So I'd say it's 10 years. The club's messed up here.
Go on.
I don't care how young he is, yeah? I don't care how old any player is when you get them. If we're talking prime for players, time that you've been at a club, the most you'll get out of them in their prime is 10 years. After that, they have to start reinventing themselves. Do you understand?
What you're saying, yeah.
So for me, if you've seen this guy, he's been here this long now, he's not changing. He's getting worse.
Yes.
It's not... He can't change what type of goalkeeper is. It's not like he's Giggs and he's a winger and can go, right, you know what, bust up more.
I can adapt my style.
Yeah, he can't go, you know what, now I'm going to go work on my feet work and I'm going to become like a Neuer.
Yeah.
And start doing this and that.
Yeah.
Because the thing which is worrying me about him, which I don't know, it's like the coaches aren't picking up on it or the manager's not picking up, it's concentration.
Yes.
That's the worst thing. And someone said it, he's very good. He's very good when he's fully engaged. And you know what? They're right, you know. He needs to be... See, when we had a poorer defence...
Oh, and he was always in the game.
He was always in the game.
Yeah.
He switched on.
Yes.
He was a lot better. It's funny that when he had Jones in front of him and Smalling, do you know what it is? Here you go. Boom. Hit the nail on the head. You've got your De Gea now, yeah? You've got Jones and Smalling in front of you. Yeah, you're walking out that tunnel. Jones and Smalling are your 2 centre-backs.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, jeez, I've got to be on it today. Yes?
You're switched on from the start because you know that the defenders in front of you ain't the best.
Right. So now you come in under the lull of having Maguire and Lindelof and who have this, you know, on paper, good defensive record.
Yeah.
Has this made him relax? But I don't know because he was poor before that. Before they were
just
here.
Concentration because he's comfortable.
But what where I'm trying to come from is I think it's because he's got a better defense in front of him. Is he now losing concentration? Is he probably thinking that they have to do it? Because that's why for me, when you see the saves and that, he's not even like trying to scapegoat the defenders. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you see some goalkeepers and
they blame the defenders.
Yeah,
because the defenders have let them shoot. It's like, why are you letting them shoot for?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? He's not even doing things like that. So for me, is he bothered? Is he?
I think it's just we've hit the nail on the head. Is him being comfortable?
It's not. There's comfortable and there's over comfortable.
Yeah, he's like, no matter what I do, I'm gonna be here and be number one. So it don't matter.
Yeah, exactly. Because he knows
literally what it is. Like
because of the wage that he's on, the first thing people are gonna throw at you is, well, he's on 300k a week. He should be playing.
Yeah, which is a nonsense way of looking at things. It don't matter how much you could be on $500,000 a week. If you are not performing, you are not performing. Doesn't matter if you're on £1 a week. Don't matter if you're on £10 a week. Don't matter if you're on £1,000 a week or you're on $1 million a week. If you are not performing, you should be dropped. You should be held accountable for your performances because that's life. Not just football, that's just life. You're held account wherever you are with your job, whether it's career or it's a job. You have to be held accountable. We are held accountable on here. If we come on here and start whiling and effing and jeffing and all that jazz, so he's going to kick us off because he's holding us accountable like what he's doing.
Well, it's
like he's probably listening in now, cracking up, but you get my point.
It's like my boss at work, yeah? Shout out, boss, man. He says, you know, like sometimes I'll be like, well, but man, last week, man, had a banging week and I did this and I did that. And they go, you're only as good as the day you're on.
Yep.
And I feel like, yo, someone needs to say that to De Gea. You're only as good as the day you're on. So, compared to last game, you're a deadbeat goalkeeper right now.
That's what I'm saying. And that's people's defense of him is what he's done lately. Yes, he was good, world class for us 4 years ago, but how much investment you're not good now. We need you now.
We need
Football
you now, bro.
What have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
What did you do for me last game, the game before that? And you've been making mistakes all season. It's not like this is just a one-off. This is a one-off. I would not be this harsh. I've been calling for him to be sacked. Not sacked. I've been calling for him to be dropped for so long.
Well, you were at the Everton game last year with that Calvert-Lewin mistake.
See that there's so many, I don't even remember that one.
One way you go to kick the ball out and Calvert-Lewin jumps up and blocks it and it goes in.
Wait, was that this season or last season?
It was one of them.
I think it was this season.
That might even be earlier this season. Now.
Yeah, it was this season. Because I was at the Everton
game
the year before and we got beat 4-0, but he didn't make no errors. Ahmed Ashed says here, how can we bench our best players for 15th place West Ham, taking the Mick # Ollie out? The thing is, though, one thing I will say, even though I'm not a fan of Ollie, like anyone who's listened to the show knows this, I don't blame him for making the changes that he did because you have to prioritize. And when the 5 Avengers don't play, Manchester United struggle. So I have no issue with the changes he made. I have no issues with the system change because up until Bailly got injured and he switched it, okay, offensively United were non-existent, but defensively we were okay. De Gea didn't have a save to make. So to me, what he should have done, the correct thing is to do, change Bailly. You can either play Fosu Mensah in there or put Aaron Wan-Bissaka right-sided centre-back and have Fosu Mensah or Dalot as the wing-back. And then if it's 0-0 with 20 minutes to go, you throw on Martial, you throw on Pogba, you throw on Greenwood. Smash and grab.
Well,
That's one last thing. That's why I always criticize his in-game management is very, very, very bad. Go on, Stu.
No, but this is the point. When you had the 3 at the back and the wing-backs, you neutralised them. There was no threat. But then when Harry Maguire obviously bangs into Bailly, and obviously I hope Bailly's okay and everything because that looks...
Yeah, he's put out a tweet saying he's all right.
Because it looked bad, but...
Yeah, it did. Get well soon,
but then he switches to a back 4. Don't get me wrong, I actually quite like that he went kind of attacking and he brought Martial on, but it's like there's a time and a place. Just before half-time isn't the time or the place.
Exactly. In-game management just before half-time is not the time and the place. Get in at 0-0. Get in at 0-0 and then you go, but that's in-game management. You get in at 0-0 at half-time, okay. We have all this firepower on the bench. You've got Martial, Pogba and Greenwood on the bench. So if it's 0-0 with 20 minutes to go, you have enough firepower. Why can you not see that? All right, it's a drab game. United didn't look like scoring. Chelsea didn't look like scoring. Keep it the same. And then you change it with 20 minutes to go. And then you maybe nick it.
It was a strange performance, though. It was just mistakes all over the place.
Everyone was bad. But that's my point about Manchester United. When I call them the 5 Avengers. When they don't play, we struggle.
Do you know what it is, though?
We struggle. Against Norwich, we've seen it. Against Tottenham, we've seen it. The only time Manchester United win games is when all 5 of those play. If those 5 don't play, we struggle.
Here's the thing, though, which you know what? I am glad that I am actually glad we lost because it exposes some deficiencies in the squad. It finally exposes this idea that I told man this from a long time. Man are talking Harry Maguire's how this and Harry Maguire's that. Bro, it's just one big head English guy, English centre back, bro. Just one big head. Harry Maguire to me is I've never held him up in this light. So all the United fans now who want to go at Maguire,
talk about it.
Yous are the ones who've put him on this pedestal.
Talk about it.
So how can you put this man on this pedestal now, yeah? And then what, you want to kick him off? But you man put him there because I never seen Maguire as no saviour. I've said Maguire was probably going to come in and be a good defender, but he had a few good games, and everyone's holding him up in this next mad light. Bro, he played for England in a World Cup that they did good in. But if you look at the teams they played in that World Cup, once they met quality, what did they do?
Yeah,
they failed. Yeah. So you want to tell me he did good against Panama, Colombia? You know what I'm saying? All these countries here. Bro, he's not done nothing. He was at Leicester. People get it twisted. This is why I think a lot of men don't watch football properly. Because they probably think he was at Leicester when they won the league. No, he went there then. Do you get what I'm saying? So what has this guy accomplished? What has this guy accomplished?
I got a lot to say on this matter.
Yeah, go on, Stro. You go.
Listen.
We've been duped.
Where's the camera?
Yes, sir.
I need to speak to a brother of ours. Goes by the name of Saeed. Mr. Harry Beckenbauer and all that nonsense. You can't even compare him to Van Dijk. There's no comparison to be had. I think Maguire is a good defender. I do. I think he's a solid defender. He's not the level that Manchester United fans have claimed him to be. And it's unfortunate because his mistakes are now being pushed into the public eye more and being more shone upon because of the way that, like you said, that he's been brought up into this pedestal. That's not his fault.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point exactly. People have, you've put him on this pedestal, yeah? And then when he's looking shaky now, man are looking to drop kick him off it, but no, you shouldn't be.
He never should have been on it in the first place.
One thing I'll say about Saeed to defend him, he fully backs him.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
Nah, you know what? Yeah. I were even getting at Saeed.
Nah, I know you were getting. I'm saying he's an example. Like if you back a player. I'm
only saying that because me and Saeed,
even though I've been on shows with Saeed and I've told him he's not as good.
No, I'm only saying that because me and Saeed are actually having a debate on video about Van Dijk and Maguire, so I'm just throwing a little shot just to hype that up.
This is what I've been saying though. For me, Maguire is the level Maguire is at as a central defender is the poorest level which Manchester United should have of a centre back at the club. So that Maguire level. All our other centre-backs should be on a Maguire level, and then we should have two centre-backs who are better than. For me, he is a. I'm not comparing ability, but I'm saying he is a Joe Gomez for Liverpool. If you understand.
So what you're saying is
Van Dijk's the main man.
United need a Van Dijk type.
Yeah, and I don't even want to go there and say a
Manchester
Van Dijk type.
United.
I mean a better. We need a better defender than Harry Maguire. For Maguire to play with and to bounce off, yeah. When Maguire, you have to understand, yeah. So let me put it to you like this: the reason Van Dijk works so well as a player, is number one his athleticism, his athletic ability, yeah. He is an athlete, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In care, you can see that whether it's natural or not, his body shape, his care for his body. He's nimble, he's agile, he has pace, yeah?
Yep.
For me, you cannot be the main defender at a football club if you don't have pace or positioning. So, Maguire's pace isn't the best, yeah?
Yeah.
If he had, not saying he's ever going to have this, but if he had Maldini type positioning and movement and reading of the game, he doesn't need that pace. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But he doesn't have that. So you've got an £80 million centre-back who, let's be honest, is good with the ball at his feet and he's got a big head. Yeah? There's not much more to this player. And this isn't me having a go at him as a player. This is me being honest. He is a good... There's the key word. He's a... You know what? I'd say on his day, he's a very good centre-back, but he's not exceptional.
Go on, Strong.
No, so I was going to say, this is... I feel sorry for Maguire.
That's my...
There's a lot of things that haven't helped. Number one, the transfer fee.
Yep.
Never ever should have gone for 80 million.
Yep.
Never, because he's like I said, he's a solid player. He had a phenomenal World Cup. He's not worth 80 million.
No.
He's not worth 80 million. I'm sorry, he's not worth 80 million.
If this is a few years ago, yeah, when you're buying Rios for 30 mil, Maguire's like 13 mil. Then
He's a
Do you know what I'm
50
saying?
Yeah, because we know he's going to be. Not only is the transfer market inflated, also when you buy in English players, there's an English premium on top of that.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah,
what I'm
exactly.
saying. Though. We would
Because
have
even
got
at the
him.
time, Rio, even though he went on to be a success and one of the best centre backs Manchester
There was
United.
questions
had,
behind that deal.
There was questions because he was the most at the time. It was 30.1 million, I believe. His
Most
fee
expensive
was.
UK player ever.
Most expensive UK player ever, most expensive defender
In the world.
In the world at that point, and people were doubting him because he was at Leeds, he was at West Ham, he wasn't great. Obviously, we know how that turned out.
Yeah, but this was the point I was making. So the transfer fee doesn't help him. Then you go into a Manchester United team that's in clear rebuild, right? But you're still one of the biggest clubs in the world, and there's still that expectation because you are Manchester United, and because you come with that transfer fee, there's more pressure on you. That's not helped. Because it's difficult enough, and listen, we look at footballers like they're not human beings. They are. Listen, for example, moving house. If you've got kids, moving your kids into different schools, adapting your wife. There's a lot like this is one of the things that no one really spoke about with Martial. His wife wasn't happy for the majority of the time because they were living in a Lowry hotel for God knows how long.
Well, you know what that is? The reason why people won't bring that up is
They don't want to.
because it's Martial.
They don't want to give him an excuse.
Yes, because it's Martial. Like, we all know what it's like. We've all been with women. If your wife's unhappy, you unhappy.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
Simple,
Correct.
Like, you are. If your wife's unhappy, you are not happy.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying.
What
But
did he say?
Women rule the world, bro.
What did he say? Happy wife, happy life.
yeah. But these are things that need to be taken into consideration. And listen, I'm not saying I speak to Maguire on a daily basis. I know this is exactly what happened. But these are things that you need to look around when it comes to transfers and why sometimes they don't work out and stuff like that. Here's the thing with Maguire, though. Like I said, it's a culmination of different things which haven't helped him. The transfer fee is the biggest one. He never should have got. And it's like, look at Kepa. He went in the same transfer window as Alisson, right?
Oh, jeez.
So Alisson broke the record for the most expensive goalkeeper, yeah? And Kepa went and broke it. So there's parallels. You look at Alisson and Kepa, Van Dijk, Maguire. Straight away you get compared to the one that you've just overtook. Yeah. The unfair comparisons.
If Maguire's... I mean, if Van Dijk's not been bought for that fee, and then we go and try and get a Maguire, we probably get Maguire for about 40-50 mil.
Exactly, but he only went because this seen what happened with us.
This is the premium now. If you you know what I mean?
And exactly with Alisson. Yeah. Let's not forget, Kepa was going to go to Real Madrid in January for £25 million. Yep. They went and got an extra 40-50 million out of Chelsea because they only needed a goalkeeper. And you look at Kepa now, the second he makes a mistake, he's the most expensive goalkeeper in the world.
Yep.
Instantly thrown at him. Exactly the same with Maguire. They can't help that. They don't want to go. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm sure they get a cut of it and stuff like that, but they don't want to go for them kind of fees because the pressure's on.
Yeah.
And even the Premier League.
You know how mad it is. Yeah.
The most watched.
The pressure's on him from when he's even just at Man United. Even if we got him for 50 mil.
But this is what I'm saying.
You still got the pressure element, but now that pressure element has been doubled, tripled. You know what I mean? So it's...
And then on top of that, you got your fans that, listen, I'm all for fans overhyping the players. I like it. Because at the end of the day, you're showing that you support and you take care.
You have to give the same way in my life I give my circle premium gas. I'm going to give my football team the premium gas. Anyone around me or anyone I support is getting that premium unleaded. Which one's more expensive, unleaded or leaded? Which one's better or more pure?
Premium, my guy.
All right, so let's just say premium petrol. Like, you don't get that premium gas. 1000%. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. You know what it is, though? You know what it is, me? I can't gas certain, man. I need to gas. You need to give me something to gas. When I seen this big head you, yeah?
Stop calling him a big head you.
You're always a big head you.
Radio fam.
I know, I'm not seeing nothing that makes me want that I ever, like... I didn't see Maguire at that World Cup and I was like, yo.
No, but one
thing... It went like that Rooney Euros where it was like, yo. Or it went like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but...
I've not seen something from this guy to make me even go... Whoop.
To some people it would have because he's next to John Stones. So you're looking at John Stones and you're looking at Maguire, they're two different levels.
But then...
So then straight away that that makes you look at the whole picture completely differently because it's like one's in another level, the other one shouldn't even be fit in the England team.
Because you know the same people now. This is jokes, you know. You know the actual same pundits now. We wheel it back up to that World Cup. I bet you they're telling you how much of a player this guy is.
Yeah, every single one of them. You've seen it. You've seen it. They were doing little videos of when he went over to see his girlfriend and after the goal that he scored against Colombia and stuff in and Panama, and it's like, listen, I get it, but
This is, you know what, yeah? As long as the English media is so powerful when it comes to building up these players and speaking on these players, England will never win a tournament because you literally building people up and then knocking them down within. Come on, what? How long's that World Cup?
Yeah.
What?
2018, and we're only in
2
2020.
years.
Talk about it.
You get what I'm saying? You've built man up. You've knocked him down. How many times have they tried to knock down Sterling since that World Cup? Facts. Rashford. You get what I'm saying?
Never once criticised Kane for not passing the ball.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. They've absolutely murdered Lingard since then. Yeah. Maybe rightfully so. Maybe not to that extent. You get what I'm saying? You don't deserve to do that to him. You know what I'm saying? So this is where I like to be. Sometimes I like to be very critical. Sometimes I don't like to be very critical. But for me, I can't jump on this Maguire and hate on Maguire now because Maguire's doing right now what I expected from Harry Maguire.
Here's the thing, and he's like Stroh said, he's not been helped in terms of you need the players around him. Yes, he's a good player, but for him to level up, he needs equal or better than what.
It's like giving him the captaincy.
Even if
that's wrong.
Yeah, even if United had a player a centre back who was Maguire's level, but his weaknesses were his strengths. So we had a defender who's his level, who's quick and athletic.
Yeah.
And then we had a left back who was just better than Shaw. And a goalkeeper who is better than David De Gea. You get what I'm saying? Like, even the Bournemouth goal, yes, Maguire's been skinned through the legs, but De Gea should save that. If De Gea saves that, that's not a talking point.
Exactly, which is what happened with us. There's been times, and don't get me wrong, where Van Dijk's made a mistake. Obviously, not apart from the Arsenal one where we got punished, where Alisson's got him out of it.
And you don't talk about that because he didn't
result in a goal.
Liverpool probably won most of them games.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that's what it is, and that goes back into the team and things of that nature. That's what that is.
But this is where you need perspective as a football fan. And listen,
Perspective is key.
Listen, JV made an unbelievable point about the media, and I've had this issue with the media for years. So you look back at the 2002 World Cup. No, actually, go even further. 1998 World Cup. Beckham gets sent off. He gets absolutely destroyed by the media. 2002 World Cup. David Seaman, one mistake, absolutely destroyed by the media. Yeah. 2004 Euros. They went after Ronaldo, but they went after Rooney as well for getting himself sent off. Yeah. So there's that. 2008. I don't even think we qualified, which we didn't. 2010 South Africa. Now there was one big talking point in that. Yeah. 2010 World Cup, Suarez, the handball against Ghana.
Yeah.
He went back to Uruguay. He was a god. The papers loved him for that.
Of course.
If we did that, he's a national disgrace, etc., etc. 2012 Euros, obviously we went out to Iceland. Sterling, that's when the whole Sterling propaganda started.
Yep. Need a scapegoat.
Yeah, because he was coming through Liverpool, and they didn't like the way he conducted himself and all that nonsense. And then you got 2014, right? The biggest talking point in the 2014 World Cup was Brazil getting smashed in the backyard by Finger, but all everyone wanted to talk about. Yeah, but that wasn't talked about in our newspaper. Imagine that happened to us here. They'd be hung out to dry. But once again, criticising England, Raheem Sterling at the forefront of that, which is another joke, by the way. And then so there's what, 2014. Move on to 2018, yeah, which is what we just talked about, right? I'm telling you now, if Raheem Sterling is in Harry Kane's position and Raheem Sterling doesn't pass that ball, they are printed front newspaper, national, and they're talking about the tattoo that's on his foot, on his leg. It's a disgrace. Yes. Like, when are they going to actually just give a bit of unbiased media and actually talk about what happens? This is why you need perspective. Look at what happened in the game. Yeah. Honestly, it's a disgrace.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just going through the comments as well. Like I said, we got 3 opinions rolling around here. Any other topics you want us to talk on, please let us know. And obviously, if you super chat, well, interject the conversation we're having and talk about whatever you've asked. Just there having a look, why did Ahmad again says, why did Romero get dropped? He brought us to the semi-final and baffled. Because it's Ollie, that's why. Stefan says, Henderson will never accept to be on the bench. He said it, which I understand. He's been doing well. So it's like, you want to play again? Henderson got a goal in today as well.
Here's the thing, though. If Henderson's not happy with that, all right, bye. We're Man United, bro. This guy's a little, you some reserve goalkeeper. Yeah, you know what I mean? You've done all right at Sheffield United, bro. Yeah. You're not set the world on fire. And this is the thing with English players.
Go on.
They get boosted. You'd think, check this one out. You'd think that English players, they're Brazilian players. Like, the Brazilian media don't boost these kids, you know. It's not the Brazilian. It's never the Brazilian media telling you this youth's a next Ronaldo,
exactly,
a next Robinho.
Don't know Charles Sol in the building.
Big S,
Sol Knight,
Big S and that. Mr.
No
Pat
stress.
Radio in the building.
Big S,
man. Big S.
Big
no
S
stress.
in the building.
Haircut fresh.
Fresh trim and that.
You get me?
Okay.
Fresh
Cheese.
Fresh garms. Fresh garms.
Yeah.
Okay. He hates coming in here. He hates coming in here.
Come on.
What did we tell you about that gas, people?
Get me gas.
Yeah, premium
My
gas.
boss is better than yours.
Back up to your point about Henderson and English players.
Yeah, like, all right, then you get these little Brazilian kids, and then they're probably like walking into the training ground and they just kick a ball and do a little flip flap with it or something. And man, I tell you, they're the next Ronaldinho. But it's not the Brazilian media who's telling that, you know. Yeah. It's the European media.
Exactly.
Do you get what I'm saying? So you would the way that English players get gassed, you'd think like there's some exceptional national teams that we've had in the past. You know what I mean? Like these guys, these Hendersons and that. If you really deep it, Henderson, yeah, he's had a good season for his age. But it's his first proper season, bro. You tell me, how many players have we seen in our lives who have that one season and we're like, oh, this guy.
He's the guy.
Yeah.
The truth.
Yeah. And then you don't hear of him again.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I remember that. What's that youth back in the day? I always remember him because I thought this guy was going to be
Michael Johnson.
Nah, not that one. Jeffers.
Francis Jeffers.
Francis Jeffers. Arsenal.
Do you not remember this kid?
I remember him when he was at Everton.
Was he not going to be like? He was supposed to be the dog's dinner rude boy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was. Nah, you're not lying.
And this is because of the media.
Yeah, listen, I can name you 5 of them straight away. Michael Johnson, Dele Alli, Ross Barkley, who's meant to be the next Gascoigne or next Steven Gerrard. Where did that go? Down the drain. Declan Rice is in the process of getting it now. And the worst one more than anything, Eric Dyer. Who the hell? Who? Someone please tell me who decided to who wrote a story gassing Eric Dyer, really?
Here's the one with the Declan Rice. When I look at him and I'm like, every time I watch him play, obviously I don't watch West Ham week in, week out, but every time I see him play, he does nothing special. I'm looking at him like,
I seen man saying the other day, let's buy him.
Yeah.
This is the problem with us. You're not realising this is the same thing what you've done with Maguire. Do you get what I'm saying?
You don't end up paying 50, 60 million for him.
Let's buy him. Yeah. And we go buy Rice now for 90 mil, some idiot price. Yeah. And this guy would make mistakes left, right, and centre, but it's okay. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's one of them. I'm starting to get to the point now where, you know what? If they want to get players, see, for me,
you just go and sign Thomas Partey.
it's not even that. So, like, for me, the whole thing now of getting rid of someone like Gomez, makes no sense. Because we're going to have to go and buy someone like that, yeah? So, relating it back to the conversation I was just having, I'm not saying we need to get rid of Henderson if we're not playing him, but if he's not happy with being on the bench, leave him at Sheffield United for another year.
Yeah,
because guess what will happen? When you stay at Sheffield United, you will become Sheffield United level if you're there for too long, which is a good level right now, but are they going to sustain that level? Who's to say next season?
Manchester United will exceed that level.
Yes, who's to say next season? Do you remember when Hull first come up?
Yeah.
I do.
Giovanni and them man going on mad at the Emirates and that. That first season was exceptional, wasn't it?
They went back-to-back in North London.
Exceptional first season. Second season, you know what I'm saying?
I get what you
Who's to say Sheffield United aren't going to do that next year?
That's why it's going to be interesting to see. But the reason why I'm saying that is because even if we throw Henderson in and he's not good enough, I'm just done with De Gea. I'm like, all right, let's give someone else
but here's the thing.
With someone else to
how toxic our fan base is, yeah? We could play Henderson the first game of the new season. Yeah. If he makes a mistake that costs us that game, to 60-70% of our fan base, and I say fan base
loosely
because I don't believe half of these men are fans now.
You don't pay them no. That's why with social media you don't pay them no mind.
Shout outs to Terry as well because he said this and I agree. I think half of these fans are fake fans and it's opposition fans making up accounts. And
Terry's spot on most of the time with stuff like this.
He is. And the thing is, back to the point, if Henderson makes a mistake, he will be done to a lot of the fan base.
A reactionary. People are just reactionary in general. So it's like that's why you have to take a minute, take it in, and then
some of these fans react like chemicals, fam.
Yeah, that's why I didn't.
You know what I mean?
That's why I didn't go off in terms of I wasn't confident before
You know what I
the
mean?
game.
Just frothing at the mouth and that.
What a phenomenal
Like chemical-
analogy that is.
No, you do that in science and you get you're like that.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
That's
yeah.
these-
When
here's
you put
Maguire,
that-
here's a bad game, Maguire. Here's the fans.
Yeah, when you put
what I'm
that
saying?
when you put like that thing in the Coke and it just explodes.
boom.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what-
Is it
happens,
the
innit?
Mentos you
Mentos,
put in the
Yes.
Mentos, yeah.
That's what it is,
cool.
man.
Yeah, and some people are, like I said, you get like that. But my only thing is be consistent with that and real. So you see Saeed, he's very reactionary like that. So that's
But
why
he's
I'm like,
consistent.
yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I
Barry.
mean. Like
Whereas
he
you
will
take someone like
he
Aaron-
will happily hold his hands up and say, "Look, I got it wrong."
Like, and that goes. I said this, I think, when we was on Aaron's show. I said, you're not reactionary like that. Like, you're similar to me, as in where you're laid back. Like, if you don't know me, you wouldn't know if I was fuming or not when we was on camera. Because I remember when we drew against Spurs, Stroll, you messaged me and said to me, "I can't wait for your fan cam. I know you are fuming." But if you go and look at that fan cam,
You don't tell.
If you don't know me, you can't tell.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
showed it to one of my dons, my boy, and he was like, "I can tell you're mad in this." Because
Yeah,
you
I could tell straight away.
You compare because you personally know me, but I'm not gonna become a meme out here. And two, it's like I'm gonna keep composed.
Man, don't want to be a Will Smith
Yeah,
out
I'm
here.
not trying to get no. I'm not, I hate that. Side note, I hate that Will Smith is now the new Jordan crying face meme. I hate that.
Man.
But yeah, I can see it. Ahmed again says David De Gea cost us top 4 last season as well, if you remember, and he's costing us this season as
Yeah, he
well.
did.
Facts. Georgie F says De Gea looks like a quiet person, but looks like he has a bad attitude. Stefan says if De Gea cost us top 4 this season, they need to fight him on the pitch. I'm just gonna run through these comments before we respond. Ahmed again says, Ahmed, you are not having this with Ollie. He seems like an arrogant man, very complacent because there's no challenge to him. Faris says, David De Gea is so moody. Looking at him depresses me, man. Georgie F said, that's why you need healthy competition between first and second choice keepers.
Which is spot on.
Nah, you know what? There is just
but you just
healthy competition. The manager's just scared to finger him out.
Facts, because Ahmed says here, Spain dropped him as number 1. Stefan says he will be targeted by our opponents, which we've already stated. Ahmed also says, Hendo ain't ready yet at a goal in today.
I beg you don't call him Hendo, fam.
Yeah.
There's only one Hendo out here.
Yeah, you can have that.
Premier League champion.
Yeah, you can have that. Van Gaal says, Ahmed says Van Gaal has balls, all he doesn't. Okay. I get what you're saying still. Like, I can't argue with what you're saying. Can't you get me? I can't argue with what you're saying. Van Gaal is a manager with experience and power. All he is afraid of ruining the morale.
Morale's done when you lose.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm
I
saying.
definitely think Ollie's afraid.
Oh, yeah, I remember this. Faris makes a great point. Apparently, the goalkeeping coaches at Manchester United were changed about 2 years ago. Is there a
they were.
coincidence?
Yeah, they
or
were.
did this affect his confidence? Yeah, I can remember the clause in his last contract. He was allowed his own goalkeeping coach. And Gary Neville made a great point on this. And he was like, if that's not the what did he say? If that's not the tail wagging the dog, whereas like, why is David De Gea putting that clause in his contract? Like, you're in a football club. That's what it is. But
Yeah, because wait, in the clause in his contract where he gets trained by his own.
yeah, it was his last one, not this new one. The last one he did. But he shouldn't have been given that deal. But yeah, flawless. The changes should have been made against the weaker sides like Villa, Palace, and Southampton, not against Chelsea. And we're supposed to be united and go for all trophies. Yes, we are supposed
You know
to
what?
go.
That makes sense.
No, here's the thing. We are supposed to go for trophies, but at the end of the day, we have to prioritize things. And FA Cup is the lowest priority to me. This is the game that, if I could pick a game for Manchester United to lose, it would have been this one. Of course, you don't want to lose FA Cup semi-finals. Not in the slightest. But top 4 and the Europa League are much more important.
You know what, though? I'll say this as well. Whenever we're at Wembley, it's 50-50. Us at Wembley is a 50-50 game. It can go any way. Don't matter who we're playing. We have a weird approach to games at Wembley. If you actually deep it and you look at that FA Cup, what we won, that was like a smash and grab, really. Like, we should have battered. It's Crystal Palace. Are you telling me if anyone else of the top 6 or 7 teams play Crystal Palace in a final, they're not battering them? If City play Crystal Palace in a final, they're battering them. I think Arsenal would. I think, you know what I mean?
I fully get what you're saying.
So,
but
like,
that's the issues we have had. And in terms of making changes before we move off this point, we've seen what happens when we make changes. We struggle.
The squad's not good enough. That's the point I wanted to
struggle.
make, actually. The squad's not good enough.
struggle.
Players have exposed themselves. For me now, Lindelof needs to be like I don't know, bro. He needs to be like 4th choice centre-back for me.
Who?
Lindelof. We
Yeah,
need
he
to
should be
buy
back.
a centre-back. He needs to be like 4th choice.
And Axel got to try and get fit. I'm a big fan of accent.
Yeah.
So try and get
Also, what I want to say is,
oh wait, super chat. Let me do this.
not helping
Okay.
Brandon Williams.
Super chat. Shout out our guy Josh. He said, FA Cup wasn't a priority. It just sucks because we had the Gooners waiting for us. Focus on top 4 and win a trophy in the Europa League 100. Exactly. That's my. Hey, shout out to you, Josh, for the super chat.
Salute, Josh, man.
We was going to
Always.
move on for this, but we'll discuss this now. That is my point on it. Yes, United Arsenal in the FA Cup final. I wanted to get there to play them, of course, just for the social media stuff beforehand, just
The
to be able to see
nostalgia,
everyone, just the
just
nostalgia of
everything.
it. Like, they're the old enemy. Like, it would be fantastic. But we have bigger fish to fry. If United finish in the top 4 and or win the Europa League, nobody's going to remember that semi-final.
Exactly.
They will.
No one will remember that semi-final.
They will
United
because
fans
of the
will.
mistakes.
Yeah, United
Oh
fans
yeah, I'm
will.
saying for that. All right, I can't say that then. Me, I won't.
Yes,
Yeah, I'll say
I know
that
what you're
for me.
saying.
Yeah.
But that,
I
though,
for me, yeah.
he's
Thank you for
literally,
clearing that
he's
up.
gonna. You know how mad it is with De Gea. Just at one point, he's gonna go down in history now as a bad goalkeeper.
Yes, he will, and it's sad to see considering where he was.
Yeah.
There'll be like,
He'll go down as like a David Seaman.
there's certain kids now who are of a certain age who won't remember his prime years
Yes.
or remember him now.
Yes.
Say you was 5 years old when he came in, and then now you're 10, 11. You're more aware of what's going on. Or even if you're 10 years old and now you're 15, you're much more aware and watching more games. So it's like, now it's like, wow, David De Gea was good. Yeah, this is David. It's kind of like when you see an old boxer over the fire when he's over the hill. It's like you don't remember what this guy was like in his prime type of thing.
There's a
That's
quick point
it
I
is.
want to make before we move on to the City game, which is the last point on
On
Ollie.
to that. Yeah.
Is I completely agree Ollie's scared, and I'll tell you the reason why. Because if it's a FA Cup semi-final, if Ollie puts Romero in, Romero makes a mistake. It's not just Romero's head on the block. It's Ollie's for making a change. Do you know what I mean? The book sits with him, whereas it's a more easier decision to keep De Gea there because it's David De Gea. He's your first choice goalkeeper, so if he makes a mistake, it's like, but it's David De Gea is our number one. Look what he's done for us, and he's got a backlog of excuses. Whereas if he puts Romero in, Romero makes a stinker, and he concedes you 2 goals, and he loses the game straight away. It's like, well, why was he starting? Why wasn't De Gea starting? Then it's on the manager. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Now I fully get what you're saying, and that's him.
Like a
being
spine.
confident. Yes, that's him not being confident in his ability. Just play. He should have been dropped anyway.
Yeah.
But that's what that is. But yeah, that's how I look at it from a Manchester United perspective. Yes, you know me, I'm trophies and results over everything. I've said this on the show many a time. I wouldn't care if United played the Premier League season, won 38 games out of 38 and won each game 1-0 and only scored 38 goals. And the football was dead if we won the Premier League title. I'm all about trophies and results, but we have to look at the bigger picture. Manchester United need to get back into the Champions League.
Yep.
So it's like top 4. If you're asking me between top 4 and Europa League, what would I choose? Europa League all day long. Because not only do you get in the Champions League, it's a trophy.
You get a trophy.
But if you're asking me top 4 or FA Cup, I don't have this FA. The FA Cup, unfortunately for some people, can't get over that. The nostalgia with it is not there no more. The FA Cup is not special. Yes, it's a great trophy to win, but it's second tier. You got Premier League and Champions League, and then there's everything else behind that. That's what that is. That's it. That's what it is. But yeah, that's exactly what it is. You get what I'm saying? So, all right, moving on to the City game anyway. Shout out to Josh as well for that.
Yeah, salute to Josh, man. Wow, what can we say about the Manchester City game? I'll tell you what you can say. Where's the camera? So all you City fans, put one of these in. Quit your moaning. Put your dummy back in your mouth.
Man brought
Put your dummy back in your mouth.
Man brought the
Nah,
accessories, you know.
Nah, to be fair, I found it in my pocket. It's my daughter's in it, so I just thought I'd use it for the show.
I brought the prop.
Nah, but are we going to start questioning Pep Guardiola yet? Are the media actually going to start questioning Pep Guardiola yet for this shocker of a season? Regardless
it
whether
is
they're still in the
shocking,
Champions League or not. Like, are we going to start... Like, where are we going? Because if Jurgen Klopp has this kind of a season next season, Jurgen Klopp's head's on a spike. Because it's Pep Guardiola and he revolutionised football. No one wants to talk about it. When are we going to start having this conversation?
We'll start. You know what? When will we start having this conversation? Right now. Let's
Right
have this
now.
conversation.
Right
Right
now.
now.
It is.
Third eye view. We'll be back in a minute.
Right, okay,
Go on, Stroll. Get it off your chest.
You spent how much on centre backs?
I'm sure.
And he didn't replace Vincent Kompany.
Woo.
You spent 250 million on full backs. Not one of them can track a man.
Get him.
Shocking. Mendy can't play 6 games without being on the injury list for a season because it's an ACL or
Mendy
something
plays a few
stupid.
games and needs mending.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. And then you've got you brought Rodri in, who isn't good enough to replace Fernandinho as a defensive midfielder, and yet you played Fernandinho as a centre back because your ego got in the way and you couldn't replace Vincent Kompany. Jesus is not the answer to Aguero. He never has been, never will be. And it shows that when Roberto Firmino, who doesn't score many goals, is proven that this season starts ahead of you in the World Cup, or starts ahead of you for Brazil. He's a natural goal scorer. Firmino doesn't score many goals. Why is Firmino starting over you? It doesn't make any sense because you're not rated like that. Because you're overhyped by the English media. Because you're overhyped because you're in one of the most overhyped teams I've ever seen in my life. And the only reason why Liverpool...
overhyped teams ever.
And the only reason why you're even in the whole debate, or why Liverpool are in the debate of the greatest team ever, because this Manchester City team were massively overhyped for the past 2 seasons. Don't get me wrong, phenomenal achievement. 100 points, phenomenal achievement. Listen, we proved that we didn't want to do it this season. Listen, back-to-back's tough.
Yes, extremely. You got to give them credit. One thing I always give them credit for is winning.
They won every domestic trophy last season. Phenomenal. But listen, the second you had a bit of pressure on you from this Liverpool team, you absolutely crumble like apple crumble. Let's not even talk about like you didn't. You know for a fact you did.
You absolutely crumbled.
Man had the custard on the side and everything because Pep just couldn't deal with it. Listen, you seen it. They got beat at Anfield and their heads went. Manchester City have lost the same or more games than Arsenal have this season. That is a disgrace. From the greatest Premier League team ever, that it was told that is a disgrace. Tell me if I'm wrong. Utter disgrace.
Stefan again.
Yeah, another super chat we're getting to right now. Stefan says, great show, guys. Pep is a bald fraud without Messi. Wait. Whoa. Okay. Similar to, we are going to answer that, like I said, and salute to everybody who super chatted. Georgiev, Josh, Stefan, like we really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And like I said, with the super chats, we are definitely going to, for people who super chat often, we're planning on doing a show after this that won't be on air, but like a podcast, and we're going to get people who super chat involved. So yeah, on to that point that you made there. He needs to be held accountable. JV, you made a great point about De Gea. Is this the biggest fall from grace we've seen? With a manager the caliber of Pep, is this the biggest fall from grace we've seen from a manager in a season?
Do you know what it is with me for Pep?
Yeah.
We are. You know what? Yeah. It's as simple as this. If you look at all these matches...
I gotta stop. I just love that Stefan, super chatted just to call Pep a bald fraud.
You know what I'm saying? Man, just let man know ASAP, innit? ASAP. Just got in the grease rapidly.
Go ahead.
But here's the thing, yeah? You see these matches, what City are losing, and this is to expand on Stefan's point. Is that Stefan B, by the way? It used to be Stefan B.
Yeah, it's Stefan B.
Is that Stefan B? Yes, Stefan B, my guy.
Yeah. We'll get to that in a sec, Ahmad, but go on.
The thing is, you see these matches, what he's losing for City.
Yeah.
How many games is identical have you seen him have this when he was at Barca? But you've got Messi.
So he's getting him out of trouble.
He's not got a
trump card.
He's not got a trump card. And this goes back to what I've always said about Guardiola. No plan B. He doesn't have a plan B. He doesn't. His plan A is so good, plan B isn't for.
Because his plan A has worked over the majority of his career, like 99% of the time.
But that succession rate is falling.
Yes,
I'm sorry, but this is...
And I know what he's going to do, though.
It's kind of like Deontay Wilder with the big right hand.
I know what he's going to do.
I'm sorry, but this is ridiculous.
Yeah, go on.
They've lost 9 games, right? Yeah. Chelsea have lost 11 games. Leicester have also lost 11 games. United have lost 8 games, right? Wolves have lost 8 games. Arsenal have lost 9 games.
There you go. He's just going to get the checkbook out.
Yes, and here's the thing is, even though we are criticising him, and it's funny from a United perspective and show from a Liverpool fan standpoint, one thing about him, they didn't get the Champions League ban, he will go again. They are going to spend the war chest.
It's going to be horrible.
They're going to throw the war chest out. Like, I could easily see them spending 600, 700 million.
I think they're going to go for an Mbappe.
But here's the serious question.
I could see something like that.
Or even a Neymar. Yeah. It wouldn't shock me.
Just slap 200
because you know what I always think? Did Neymar pay for Barcelona when Pep was there? Or was Pep already gone?
I think Pep might have already been gone.
I think Pep was already gone.
I think Pep will want a Neymar.
Well, here's the thing.
If he's being brutally honest with himself, he needs to realise, and I think he may have realised, it's not Spain, it's not Germany. I need a marquee player. And the thing is, don't get me wrong, Aguero, a fully fit Aguero, is that player.
Yes.
He has too much injury problems now.
Do you not be surprised if they go for Harry Kane?
Nah.
I don't think they'll go for Harry Kane just because I don't think it's a Pep Guardiola type 9.
I think, for me...
Mbappe or Neymar makes much more sense to me. I can see him trying forget this. Like the same way he just went and spent, 200 million on fullbacks that summer. He'll do that again, right? You literally with Laporte, so you basically need a centre back and 2 fullbacks. I can see him going like, we're just gonna spend 250 million, 300 million just on centre backs. I mean, on a centre back and 2 fullbacks. Fernandinho's getting on. Let me just go get a holding midfielder.
I'm surprised he's not done.
Let me go get an Mbappe and or Neymar.
Do you know what? Actually, I was just about to say I'm surprised he's not done what Chelsea done, but obviously that's because they had the ban looming over. But I think between now and because I can't remember where I read it, but I'm sure the window opens very soon. You know, the transfer open window's at the end of this month, is it not? I can see City now their ban's up will be approaching players, and I think it might even be a case. Oh, you mean
when you say their ban's up in terms of they're not banned from the Champions League? You mean?
Yes, sorry, yeah. So that's all. Yes, sorry, I didn't say that right.
No, it's cool.
That's all been rounded up now. We know that
July 27th.
July 27th. Yeah, I remember it.
Cheers, Stal.
Oh my gosh, that's next week Monday.
And it finishes in October.
That's 7 days from today. What? From now till October?
Yep.
Oh my god, that's horrible.
October 10th.
They are literally. It's gonna come a point where like they're just signing players like one every 2.
Well,
3 days.
Speaking of that, they've, from what I'm hearing from multiple sources, Ake looks like he's going to be moving to Manchester City for 35 million.
I've heard this as well. I did see that when I was on my Twitter.
Don't make sense.
I don't know how true it is.
2 left-footed centre-backs don't make sense.
Ooh.
No, it's Pep. He'll adapt him. He'll change his foot.
Because you would play, even though 2 left-footed centre-backs doesn't work, you see many successful ones where it's 2 right-footed centre-backs. The only issue I have with that is maybe is he going to go and try and expand and go 3-5-2? Is that formation change? Or
is he going to go and get another centre-back on top of Ake?
Yes.
And Ake is a squad player.
Because the thing is, we all know Otamendi is not good enough.
Nope.
And he don't rate stones. So there is 2 spaces. I could see him going to sign an Ake and then him on top of that, then go and sign another centre-back. We know what he's like. Pep's like, I want my players. You've been very critical, JVO, in terms of him not improving players. And I always give Pep, I always defend him in terms of, yes, he does spend a lot of money. But when he has his players and he gets it right, he gets it right.
You know what
Trophies are guaranteed.
You see with Pep now, and then people say, he's not. You know, like I've said he don't improve players, and then people say, Sterling. And I always said I think Sterling was going to be what he is now.
You said that.
I always think Sterling was. I think this is Sterling's off his own back. I don't think this is. Don't get me wrong. There will be some Pep. There's Pep coaching in there.
Yeah.
Pep's probably accelerated.
And you gotta give him credit for that.
Yeah, he's probably accelerated Sterling's progression, but I think Sterling was always going to get to this level. Whether Sterling got to this level without Pep.
So here's the best way of putting it.
Later,
here's the best way of putting it. You give Pep Guardiola Liverpool squad. You give Jurgen Klopp Manchester City squad this season. Who wins the title?
Klopp.
Wait. Say that again. Sorry.
So if you swap managers in the team, so Jurgen Klopp manages Manchester City squad this season, and Pep Guardiola manages our Liverpool squad this season. Who wins the title?
I think Klopp.
It ain't Pep Guardiola, let me tell you that.
I think it's
because Pep Guardiola couldn't work with the squad that we've got. Our squad, realistically, on paper, should not, and I mean squad, our first 11's phenomenal. Squad should not be anywhere near Manchester City's this season.
Thank you. I've said
nowhere near. We should not be 19 points clear of that Manchester City squad.
Not at all.
That is a disgrace.
Not with the attacking prowess. If you look at the benches, and especially their midfield options on the bench and their attacking options on the bench, if you actually really deep it, City should not lose a match.
Yeah, and they shouldn't definitely shouldn't be 20 odd points behind that Liverpool side. Like go on.
No, go on.
Now, I was gonna say when Liverpool played City, and you looked at it, and it's like obviously Liverpool were partying there on the beach already. But you look at the 2 teams, how are you this far behind when you are this good? Yes. How are you this far behind this side when you are more than capable? Something went drastically wrong, and even they didn't replace Company. Even without Company. You shouldn't be 20 points above. But it's always hard to go again.
You know what it is? It is, but I think with City, it's a mentality thing. You know what City have shown me this season? And something that I think will be very worrying for Pep is a very, very... You know what? I'm going to go there. They've got a very, very mentally fragile squad.
Mm-hmm. Woo.
Very, very fragile.
The reason why I'd reserve judgment on that, because now I'm interested to see how you bounce back. Now you've taken a massive L. You've taken a huge L. Like, you've been embarrassed in terms of this title race. Let's see how you return now.
Nah, but do you know why? Do you know why I want to disagree with that?
Go on.
Just because it's been known for so long that Liverpool were going to win the league. These man could have at least said, you know what? We're cutting down the points deficit though.
Yeah.
They could have started that bounce back in January, February. Do you know what I'm saying? They've not.
Took it into their own hands.
They could have took it in their own hands. Like, you know what? Because as much as I would say Liverpool have been brilliant, if you actually look at it, I honestly think if City had their heads screwed on, this would have went the same as last season. I think this would have went down to the wire.
Down to the wire.
Yeah.
And then even though Liverpool might,
and that's how it should. That's exactly how I thought it was going to be, going down to the wire.
You can't win a title by a point and then be 25 points behind.
Yeah, that don't make no sense. It's mental fragility.
I'm looking here. Faris says Pep has lost more games than Oli in the Premier League this season. Shocking in capital letters.
It's a disgrace.
Georgiev says, I think Pep is too stubborn with his tactics. He doesn't adapt. Stefan said Pep needs a saviour. Aidan Andrew says transfer window basically August to October. Georgiev says, does Aki really improve City? I would say yes, but not enough to the point
improves
where
the squad.
He improves City simply because
he's better than Otamendi and Jones.
He's better than Otamendi, he's better than Jones, and he's better than Fernandinho at centre-back.
Yes, that's what
I love how you're saying Jones instead of Stones.
Pep is
Stones. Yes. Probably because we're thinking of
Phil Jones.
Stones. Pep is Stones, Jones, both of them in it. Yeah.
Paul.
Pep is a front runner. No leaders in that City side other than Fernandinho and David
this
Silva.
is it. Wait.
Go on.
That is exactly the point that us two have made for the past God knows how many months.
Yep.
Say it louder.
David, you see, for me, the thing of replacing a David Silva with a Phil Foden, if that's what he's going to do, that's dangerous. That's very dangerous.
Because you're replacing someone who's done it all with someone who's very, very talented, but who's new.
Yes, he's
new. And now, if he's starting week in, week out, that's a different pressure.
And he's not got that. David Silva is a serial winner.
Yes.
He's a serial winner. Count out his Manchester City career. Spain. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a serial winner.
He's literally won World Cup, Euros, Premier League, FA Cup, League Cup, year after year after year.
But here's the big thing.
For about 10 years straight.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? If you actually deep it, he's won a major trophy probably every year for 10 years. Probably the only one is this.
I get what you're saying.
Which is a phenomenal point, which leads on to my point is you look at David Silva, his career, who he's played for, what he's won over the span of his career. He's a big game player. Yes. If I'm Pep Guardiola and I'm going into a Barcelona away in the Champions League semi-final, am I going to play Phil Foden or am I going to play David Silva?
Yeah,
you're going to play David Silva.
Because I think David Silva has been, I've said this, the best number 10 in the country for the past 10 years.
Like, is he actually retiring? Is he hanging up his boots?
No, he's leaving Manchester City. So he'll probably end up in like Qatar or China or back to Spain.
For me, that's an L for City. Hold it. You know what? There's something going on there.
Wait, Fernandinho tried to leave last season.
There's something going on. How was all your stalwarts looking to bounce?
You know what it is? Maybe he's just looking, we spoke on it, new challenge. Maybe he's looking at a new challenge and instead of getting kicked in the Premier League, you get me, all season long, you get me, no break. He's like, let me go back to Spain, for instance, my homeland. The football, I'm not getting kicked up left, right and centre. The football's at a slower pace. I'm getting older, like.
Do you know where I'd love to see him right now? And I think if they've got anything in their head, they need to grab him
Juventus?
Right now.
So him and Messi and them can
Barca.
look up. Yeah, he makes sense.
Screams Barca.
Yes.
He screams Barca. Yeah. And he'd have the time in that league.
Yes.
He would absolutely dominate in there. I'm trying to think back. Has he got any Real Madrid ties? Because that maybe messes it up.
I don't think so. Because he came for Valencia.
No, I don't know, he might be.
Well, yeah. So
I'm trying to think. Yeah. But yeah, for me, he needs to go back to. Barca need to grab him because their midfield is shot. They're going through something.
Yeah.
You know what? How long have we got left? We go through everything else. I know what a quick say on Barca.
Yeah, we got half an hour. Yeah, so we'll do that. So what I want to do is, we only spoke about City. Let's give Arteta and Arsenal his props.
Yes.
I've spoken on this.
Let's give David Luiz his props.
Yeah, and this is why I said, sorry, that just sounds funny in a sentence.
Yeah, that sounds mad.
The reason why I said I rated Arteta because I'm like, does he have the players? No. But one thing he can do is set up and implement his style and his system on a team. We've seen that.
His style.
His
style. Was Pep's style.
Exactly. He does it better than Pep.
You know what I'm saying?
He does it better than
That was classic teacher versus master.
Even though it was teacher versus master, they played on a counter-attack, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, there was a low block and they played on a counter-attack.
Yeah, Arsenal only had, I think, only 2 shots on target. And I think City had like 10 or 11 and had 25 in total.
No, the 2 shots on target was us.
Yeah,
so that's a great point. So they went from the Liverpool game, where it was they had 2 shots on target.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Arsenal had 2 shots on target.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Arsenal had 2 shots on target against Liverpool, and they both resulted in goals. So he went from beating Klopp and his Liverpool team by doing the exact same tactic. Yeah, he made changes, but listen, he did a low block, and he hit us on the counter attack. And for those of you that watch the football, Terry was doing a thing where it was like Arsenal couldn't keep hold of the ball for more than 5 seconds against Liverpool. They kept losing it, and then he did the exact same thing at City, and they kept losing it. But one thing I will say is when you watch that Arsenal game and that Liverpool game, is players throwing a body for everything, and you've not seen that from an Arsenal team for so long because you've got a man who they trust and who they believe in. The unfortunate thing for Arsenal is that I don't think he's going to be backed. But you look at, like you said, student versus master, right? He knew exactly how to play against that Manchester City team, and he executed it down to a T.
Yeah, Mr. Miyagi versus Danielson, like that's literally what it was. And the one thing about him, like I said, with the system and everything, that goes to show because the goal they scored, that wasn't on the counter attack.
That was Manchester City-esque.
That was Manchester City-esque, and it's like you got.
You know what the thing is with that counter attack goal?
Yeah, go on.
You see, when I watched that goal, and
the second one, go on.
Yeah, I thought that's what United did to City earlier in the season when we played them and we beat them. So, for me, was that kind of like I'm saying was Arteta there? Why would you think I was gonna say?
All right, I thought you was gonna try and give Ollie some credit. For
No. Come on, bro. It's me, bro. Look at me, bro.
Yeah, I'm just making sure.
It's me, bro.
Hey, yeah, I know it's you, but we all have our moments. It's like Saeed with his Harry Beckenbauer thing. Like we all have our moments. Yeah, I have my moments. We all do.
Nah, what I was gonna say is, was Arteta had already left Arsenal by then. I've already left for Arsenal by.
I believe so.
But here's the thing: had he seen that as a way to beat them? Had he analysed that and seen that as a way to beat City? Because for me, and even in the match that we played them in the league, when we beat City, before lockdown.
That is the way, because they don't have height in the box. You want them to go out wide. Because when they get out wide, like Mendy, who obviously we know defensively is not good, but offensively is good, gets to the byline a lot. When you crossing it in, so not the cutbacks they do when they pull it back. When they crossing it in, you fancy yourself there, whether it's Aguero, whether it's Jesus, Silva, Bernardo Silva, Mahrez, Gundogan, none of them are big and aerial threats. So you want them to do that, and then you catch them on the break because you know defensively they have weaknesses.
Did you not see how many crosses they were doing?
Yeah.
And that made me. I was sat there watching it. And I was like, why are you man swinging the ball in the box to Jesus, who for me isn't a predatory striker who's gonna get on that?
He's not.
He's. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
you've not got a big target man there where you're swinging these in.
It's not like you have Edin Dzeko in there.
Yeah, like I seen De Bruyne. He swung one into Sterling. Listen to what I just said. He swung in a cross to Raheem Sterling. Yeah, that makes no sense, bro. Do you get what I'm saying? Raheem Sterling is small. Put it on the floor.
Yeah.
Play usual City thing where you do your cutbacks and it's tapping and it's across the goal. And why are you swinging in crosses to Raheem Sterling and Jesus, bro? Because who are the height of average men who ain't the height. You know what I mean? These men are like Sterling looks like he's 5'6" or something, and Jesus is like
5'8" or something.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? And none of them are burly
because they run out of ideas.
Do you know what I'm saying? And that's the whole point, what I'm saying with the Pep thing. How can you have that much firepower? So check this, right? This is where I'm going with it. Imagine the roasting, yeah, Ollie would get if we had that bench and we didn't implement that bench attacking-wise properly.
You got a fair point. With those tools.
Those tools. You get me?
I get you.
Ollie would get crucified.
Yes.
This guy has got. Check this. You give them players who are on City's bench. You put them in another top 6 team, the league contenders. You get what I'm saying?
And they probably start every game.
That's a great point. Actually, that's a great analogy because if you put that City bench on United's bench, we are title contenders.
Not even United's, bro. If you put them in Wolves. Nah, seriously.
No, honestly.
If you put them man into a Wolves team,
into a Sheffield United team this season,
they're serious contenders in a Wolves team. You give them man to Tottenham right now. Tottenham are in business.
Chelsea.
You give them man to Chelsea right now, it's a wrap because Chelsea have already got enough, and United have already got enough. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But if from when you're telling me you can have all right then, he plays 4-3-3. Every game he has a choice of, if they're all fit, Aguero, Sterling, Mahrez, Jesus, Bernardo Silva, Foden,
Sané when he was there.
So you've got what? 7, 8 man who can go into 3 positions, and then you're telling me with this new 5 sub rule, you can't implement that. I didn't know if that rule was in use in the FA Cup because I didn't see no one use it. But even if it's 3 subs, bro, you telling me with that firepower and your tactical nous, you cannot affect the game other than swinging in 90 crosses, David Moyes style. Because when Moyes did that, man were gunning him, bro.
Yeah, when he did the 80
man were grenading him, man were rocket launching this brother, everything. Yeah. But man, you're telling me you've got De Bruyne, one of the best deliverers of the ball, swinging in balls to someone who is as tall as my daughter. He's mad, bro. It's mad. It makes no sense. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's so, for me, he needs a lot of fire. Pep deserves a lot of flames. Any other manager with the tools he's got and performed like that with the prestige which he's got, they would be under immense fire. We're talking before about managers under fire. We're talking about Sarri's under fire in Italy. This guy can still actually win his league. Do you get what I'm saying?
Same way Nigel Pearson could still actually...
Yes.
Here's the serious question.
Yeah.
Here's a serious question for you both, because I really want your honest opinions on this.
Yeah, go on.
Have Liverpool helped Pep in this season? And what I mean by that, because we've been so dominant and we've played this well and we've won the league by that amount of points, has that kind of took the pressure and the criticism off Pep? Because straight away they go, oh, just look at how fantastic this Liverpool team is, though.
Go on, JV, you answer first. I got a point on it. But
because the media is biased at the moment, strongly in the Liverpool way. I'm not saying that just because a lot of them seem to be ex-Liverpool, but a lot of them as well seem to just be favouring Liverpool at the moment as well. So I'd say, have they helped him? No. But at the same time, he's not helped himself. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, but what I mean by that is, as you've said, because no one's talking about Pep, they're talking about Liverpool. So the fact that no one's talking about what an awful job he's done, to me, that's helped him get away with it.
With Pep, here's the thing. We had already pointed out in November how bad October even, yeah.
The first show we started, I was gunning for him.
We had pointed these things out. We seen this coming.
Yeah, just go back to previous shows, people.
We seen this coming.
On the Pi Radio, YouTube, or even if you go to Sarcasm City, there's a playlist there with all the episodes.
Yeah.
Because we was doing episodes during lockdown. Like, we've been saying this. So to your point, Stro, yes, I do believe Liverpool being so great has helped him. Because say Liverpool had a normal season, say had lost 5-6 games, you know what I mean, had some droughts and things like that, we wouldn't. Yeah.
Do you know what it is with me?
I'm trying to get my idea together to present it best. But yes, I do believe, as even though it sounds daft, Liverpool was being so great. Yes, it's took away from the criticism, because all we're talking about is how good City are and not how bad Liverpool are. Liverpool have been great, fantastic. Liverpool have been incredible. Absolutely incredible, and you have the chance to build a dynasty. But City have been absolutely awful in terms of title defence. And the team they have, the 8 players that you just named, and then even off the 8 players you've just named there, JV, look at the people supplying them. Not only can you play De Bruyne or David Silva there, you can play Bernardo Silva, you can play Gundogan, and you can play Foden in those 2 attacking midfielder places. Yeah, in those 2 attacking midfielders places. And then you have Fernandinho, who's arguably top 2 defensive midfielders in the league.
Here's another serious point. You look at that Manchester City team. 1, it's aging. 2, it's riddled with injuries. There's no leadership. And this sounds crazy because, as I said about 20 minutes ago, last season these were declared the greatest ever Premier League team. Right? They need a serious rebuild. Joking aside, listen, Aguero's not the same player he was. He's still a 30-goal season striker, but he's not the same.
He can't stay fit either.
No, that's what I mean. He's not prime Aguero. Don't get me wrong, Aguero will still score you a bag full of goals and could probably lead you to a title, yeah, but at some point you're going to have to bite the bullet and replace him. Jesus isn't that replacement. Right, so you need a striker instantly, and you need a big marquee signing. You're going to need to replace Sane. People will underestimate how big of a loss that is to Manchester City. Sane going is a huge loss to us
because he's something different to the wide players they have.
Huge loss, right? David Silva, massive loss, not just on the pitch but in the changing room as well.
Similar to the company one.
Yeah, it's of a similar ilk. Like, he will set a standard from when you get to Manchester City that you've got to reach. Otherwise, you're not good enough to be there.
Yeah, that's facts.
They need a whole back 4. Kyle Walker, not good enough. Not good enough. He's a pace merchant, not good enough. I will say it again, pace merchant, not good enough.
His levels dropped off.
The only one I rate that's there is Laporte.
Yeah,
I do believe
Laporte is a phenomenal centre-back.
I think Laporte's quality, but I think he needs help.
The only thing with Laporte, which might hinder him, is his injury record. If he stays fit, if this is one of them, you know, when players have a few injuries and they get over him and then they push on, he'll be fine. If he has injuries like that again and he keeps getting them, I fear for Laporte. But the whole thing for me with Pep is, I think, back to your original point, has it helped him, Liverpool being so good? Any other manager, I'd say yes. But because it's Pep, he just seems to get a blight. He just seems to get allowed by the media.
I think that adds into it because it takes attention away. Because they're doing so well, it takes attention away from you doing so bad.
But then, here's the thing. Them doing so well, and then, here's the thing though. I'm telling you now, if that was United,
because we
win the league, and then do this badly, oh my God, we wouldn't hear the end of it. What I'm saying is, it's because it's Pep. It's Pep. Pep gets that.
And I can see here into the comments, Ahmed says here, lads, just in Manchester City have contacted Alexis Sanchez entourage for a move. If they are, that's a reach.
What?
Supposedly, I did see this on my Twitter as well. How true it is, I don't know. So people don't run with this. I have no reliable source. If anyone in the comments knows any reliable sources, please let us know. But if that is true, we will talk about that more in depth next week.
Read that again.
Yeah. Just in, Manchester City have contacted Alexis Sanchez entourage for a move. Because he did want him originally. But I can't see that happening at all. I'm just having a look here. Sancho, again, Ahmed says, Sancho forcing a move to United from reliable journalists. Yeah, man, Sancho, my guy Jaden, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm on about.
God. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing.
Oh, yeah, go on. We spoke about Aki. Yeah, we already did. Yeah, go on.
Here's the thing with Sancho.
Man said when JV says, check this, you know he has a point to make. Laughing. Shout out Stefan, that's fact.
Because he normally leans forward.
Yeah, you're right.
Check this.
Yeah, check this.
You know what it is with Sancho? I'm very worried about Sancho.
Why?
I'm not worried that we'll get him.
Go on, quick one.
I think we'll get him. I'm worried that we'll get him and still have a Lingard on the bench and a Pereira on the bench and a whoever. So then it undermines. You see, if you're going to improve your squad, we need to do it properly. For me, this summer, I'm going to shock you. We need about 5-6 players. Because for me, I think, especially after these results, what we're having, a lot of players need to go. Me personally, I'd cut my losses on a De Gea. I'd cut my losses on... Do you know why I'd cut my losses on these players first, other than other ones? I'd cut my losses on a De Gea, a Lindelof. I'd cut my losses on a... I'm not too sure even about Igalo now. I think Igalo's place, because he's not utilising him properly, so you might as well get rid of him. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Well, he is only in on loan, so it's not really an issue.
No, but he's still a space in the squad that could be taken up by a... Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That could be taken up by another...
I'd take Giroud, but that's just me.
Oh, a player of that ilk, yes.
I'd take Giroud.
I actually would.
I'd take Giroud.
But here's the thing.
I don't think there's many teams that wouldn't take him as a backup striker, but go on.
There's no point in for us getting a Sancho and still having the bad players around, because I'm starting to think that the same like what they did with Maguire. Like, Maguire will fix the defence. Do you understand?
The thing is with
Sancho will fix the front line.
Sancho will improve the squad, because that means Greenwood drops to the bench, and that gives us an option already.
I know, but what I'm saying is, I just don't want us to... All right, then, we buy Sancho.
Yeah.
Sancho's in, yeah? He gets a red card or something.
Yep.
He gets injured. Or Sancho's got a red card and Greenwood's injured.
Yeah.
You're back to Lingard.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
You want more. You want the squad to be more.
And you know what? I don't like how I'm having to reference Lingard, because honestly, do I think Jesse Lingard's been as bad as he's made out?
No.
But he's not performed. But there's other... For me, if you deep it, Pereira still had more appearances than him.
There you go.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Even worse.
There's even for me, he's got to weed out what's in the squad. I don't care if you had Pereira when you was reserve manager, because that's what it is. People forget Oli was reserve manager and he had Pereira and he loved this kid, and it's followed into the first team. If he's not producing, you've got to allow it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Do you get what I'm saying? So there's no point in getting a Sancho, but then you still got certain man about. Do you get what I'm saying? It undermines. You get what I'm saying?
I fully understand what you're saying.
It's like getting a Ferrari and putting on Ford wheels. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
Oh, let me get a banging petrol car and fill it with diesel. It's gonna broke down in 10 minutes.
No, I get what you're saying.
Do you get what I'm saying? So there's no point in we've got to. I would, as mad as it sounds,
we do have to improve the first 11.
Yeah.
And improve the squad.
As mad as it sounds, I would rather us getting 5 players to replace the Deadwood, then that's one Sancho. Because I think he's going to get a one Sancho and a one something else, and then we get that magic malaise again. Oh my God!
But here's the thing,
and the whole fan base is going to believe it.
We're talking about Manchester United. They are more than capable. Put it this way, they have the funds to do both.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And we should be looking at both. That's why I've said United need 4 players. And when I say that, I'm talking about first team. And then you look at that, you look after that, and look at improving the bench in certain things. So obviously Greenwood dropped. Put it this way, the issue that we have is United is a squad full of squad players. I don't mind Lindelof if he's on the bench. I don't mind Shaw if he's on the bench.
Yes.
I don't mind these players if they're on the bench. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have no issue with McTominay on the bench.
It's when they're playing
week in, week out.
Yes.
That's the problem. So if you improve your first team, automatically your bench will get stronger.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the players that have dropped out of the first team will push your squad players out. That's why we ain't... Has Pereira played since the restart?
No.
Just, I think he did a quick sub.
Yeah, a quick sub. And same with Lingard, who I am a fan of, hasn't really played at all.
For me, check this one out. You get Lingard in there. So, right, let's see when's Lingard been the best for us. It's when he had a Rooney there. It's when he had a Ibrahimovic there. It's when he had a Martial and Rashford. So if you look at that there's 4 quality players ahead of him.
Yep.
Yeah? He's for me, Lingard is like, he's not a main ingredient. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's like a little salt on the end, or a little, you know what, I want a little bit more, let me crinkle some crushed up chili flakes on it, a little black pepper, or do you know what I'm saying? He's not the main part of the dish, he's not the meat, he's not the pasta,
main part.
he's not the, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're
he
saying.
needs to be around those quality, and his quality shines because he can make those runs. People forget his runs. Someone like Bruno playing with a Lingard, then with a Greenwood in the box, works because you've got the passing and the movement and then the striker. Whereas when you've got Lingard, you're expecting him to be the passer, and then he's passing to a James who hasn't got the movement. Then it doesn't get to the striker. You then want to tell me this guy's bad, he's had no assists, he's had this. Check this, man, what I say, Lingard's had no assist. I bet if you watch all his things, he's had passes where it should have been buried.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So for me, I don't really get on. I don't like mentioning Lingard because I can see something from. I know what Lingard can do. I will always stand by Lingard, and I'll say I know what he is capable of.
Yes.
Dan James, I don't know. 3 games for me ain't enough to show him what you're capable of. Pereira, a 1 screamer against Southampton last season or wherever it was, is not enough to show me what you're capable of. Lingard has won finals for us. Lingard has
danced at the Emirates back to
back.
Like
Man forget
96, 97.
Man forget Lingard's Wembley record at one point.
Yes.
He was the Wembley man.
He was.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, every time you're at Wembley, you knew he was going to score.
Yeah, League Cup, FA Cup, whatever it was, semi-finals, you know what I'm saying? Finals. Do you know what I'm saying? So I can't have it against him too much, because if you deep it, he's a squad player. He needs the quality around him.
Yes.
If he is now asked to be the main man, check this. He's asked to be the main man in a starting 11 where the quality is lesser than him. What do you expect?
Yes. Well, that's people not looking at stuff objectively. But moving on from that, what I do want to touch on before we end the show. Salute to everybody who has tuned in. If you are watching this back on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe to the Pie Radio YouTube channel and like this video as well. Like I said, we appreciate all the super chats. Like I say, we here every Monday, 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. And now it looks like we have sorted out the YouTube, so going forward, we'll be live for the full show, because I think we missed the first 10 minutes. But yeah, what I want to discuss, obviously, is the top 4 race, because probably being a Manchester United fan, why I wasn't too upset about the FA Cup semi-final. Not only did I expect United not to win.
These guys, man.
Spurs got beat.
Down.
No, Spurs. Yeah, no, sorry. Leicester got beat by Spurs.
Me down.
Who let you down? Go on. What's up?
Leicester. I said it with my chest. One of the earlier shows that I backed Leicester to get top 4, and then they've come back.
I told you.
And then they've come back from lockdown, and they've literally just made me eat humble pie. Rodgers, you did it in 2014. You're now doing it again.
Yeah, you should have learned your lesson with Rodgers.
I should have.
But yeah,
you know what it is with the whole Leicester thing? I said it. If Vardy's not popping, that's it. It's a wrap.
How have they thrown this away?
You know why? Because everyone was on. This is another thing with the England thing. Maddison at the start of the season. Maddison up.
He is injured currently.
Maddison and Grealish and this and that. Where are them now? Where are they now? Are they better than a Lingard? Are they better than Ali? I don't know. They had a good spell.
Yeah.
Let players have the good spells, man, and let them come out the spell and let them bounce back. Stop telling me they're the next this, they're the next that. It's a spell. bro.
You wait to see. You do wait to see. But yeah, on that point, so that's why. So the top 4 race, obviously, is looking like no one can pull away from anyone. But it's looking like, it's looking like it is in United and now.
I'll give you the table if you want.
United and Chelsea's hands. Yeah, go on, give us the points and the games played. Because I know it's a point in between.
So obviously, top 2 goes without saying, but you've got Chelsea in third on 63 points, Leicester on 62 points, Manchester United 62 points. Now, the interesting thing is you both got the same goal difference.
What, United and who have the same goal difference?
Leicester.
Oh, is it? Okay, I didn't know that.
Both on 28.
Because they got beat 3-0, that's why.
Yeah, both on 28. So, but Leicester is still ahead of you. So if it stays like that, Leicester will keep top 4.
So Leicester are ahead of us, but United have played a game less, if I'm correct.
Correct.
Yeah.
So if United win the game in hand, then you're ahead by 3 points.
Yeah, we go ahead by 2 points, which...
No, 3 points.
We have him last.
No, you go ahead by 3 points.
Oh, ahead by 3 points.
Yeah, because I'm on 62. Both of you are on 62.
Okay. Like, so that's what I'm saying in terms of the top 4 race, and that's why I picked Chelsea and United to finish in the top 4, because I believe they have more than Leicester to do so.
To be fair,
they all have the more individual brilliance.
I said United would get top 4. I just thought Chelsea were going to be the ones that would crumble.
Because Georgiev here says that last match against Leicester is a potential banana skin. Yeah, but United it is a potential banana skin, but I've said this from the jump. As a Manchester United fan, if we could have picked the teams we played from the restart, we would have picked those teams. It's only really maybe Sheffield United and possibly Leicester.
Do you know my only worry now?
That's it, why?
My worry about that Leicester game is...
What, David De Gea mistake? What?
Nah, yeah, there is that in the back of my mind.
Okay.
It's Vardy versus Maguire, mate. Just pace. That is a worry for me.
That's why I hope Axel's back.
Here's the thing, though. The West Ham game is a big game. The West Ham game is a big game because if you win that game, you technically only need... Well, not technically. You only need a draw against Leicester.
Then the onus is on Leicester to come to Old Trafford and win.
Exactly, and then that leaves space in behind for the likes of Greenwood, Martial, Rashford.
So all United have to do is beat West Ham, who are a poor outfit. Like, I've seen people say, West Ham, this and that. West Ham are a poor outfit. There's a reason they're in a relegation battle. It looks like they're going to get out of it. All Manchester United have to do is beat West Ham. So if United don't beat West Ham, somebody has to be held accountable. And I've said this, if United don't finish in the top 4, someone has to be held accountable. Simple
I ain't going to lie. If we don't finish top 4 now... I think we'll
finish top 4, though. I've said it.
If we don't get top 4... Yeah?
Yeah, go on.
If we don't get top 4 and we don't win the Europa League,
Oli should be sacked. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he should be sacked.
Simply because...
Oh, sorry, Georgia, if we're playing Leicester away. Thank you. See, that's why I like you lot in the comments. Sorry, we've been here almost 2 hours.
Leicester away?
Yeah, it's Leicester
away.
That's
even worse.
No, that's even worse if we don't beat West Ham. If we beat West Ham, the onus is on them.
Them to come out and play. Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's why I won. That's why I won.
You want Leicester to have to come out and play us?
I want Leicester to have to.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing we need.
Nah, they're under more pressure.
Because then when he throws that ball over the top, what we doing?
We usually can just defend deep. This is what I'm saying. This is Ollie ball all over. Yes. I can't believe I'm saying that.
Yeah.
Defend Ollie ball. Like, just counter attack. Do what you was doing at the start. Just
check
Ollie
this.
ball.
Defend deep, yeah? This is where we go defend deep. Then you get the Iceman, yeah? A.K.A. Victor Lindelof.
Yo, why are you always on Victor Lindelof's case?
Because this is what we be. You be saying defend deep. Lindelof will get drawn out. It's Maguire versus Vardy. Boom. It's Maguire versus Vardy. 86th minute. It's done. It's done, bro.
Yeah, it's done, but...
He needs to come up. See, this is one thing.
Yeah. But
I've seen what I've seen Ollie do.
Go on.
And if he can do this for these last 2 games, he will get my backing. Yeah? I want 2 game plans for these last 2 games. I want you... The same way. No. Hear me out. Hear me out.
Game plans from Ollie in the same sentence is almost.
Wait.
Hear me out.
Can we get a signed contract?
Hear me out.
Go on.
Just because of the same game plan, you come up with a game plan for City. You've got a game plan for City.
Came up with a game plan for Chelsea.
Yeah, you've got one.
Well, not the FA Cup game, but the league game.
Surely. Yeah. He can come. Yes, ice melts eventually, Arshad. That's what I said. Tell him again. I said, man, is the Iceman and he's going to melt. Yeah? And the Iceman is melting, bro.
Check this, yeah? But as I was saying, even so, if we defend deep, there's no space for Vardy to run into. That's my point on it.
Yes, because...
I want to go... The last thing I want, is United have to go to Leicester and we have to win to get in the top 4.
Yeah.
That's the last thing I want.
We will do. We will do.
You know what? I actually agree with you because I said from the jump. I think
this has got David Moyes revenge all over
I think United will finish in the top 4. I've said this because we have enough individual brilliance. These are basically 2 one-off games in terms of nothing else matters now.
2 cup finals.
2 cup finals. That's a better analogy. Yes, it's 2 cup finals. That's literally what it is. Thank you very much, Joe. And we have enough individual brilliance in these 2 games to get it.
Then. If it's 2 cup finals, we're done.
Why are we done?
Why are we done? Because we just had a semi-final and we're done in that.
Yeah, but that's the semi-finals.
Nah,
different.
man, you treat that the same.
Nah, plus you treat it the same, but both of those sides, Chelsea are a bad side. Definitely a bad side than West Ham, even though they beat West Ham. They're definitely a bad side than West Ham, number 1. And 2, they're a bad side than Leicester as well. Leicester haven't been great. Leicester have not been good. And adding the fact, no Chilwell, no Maddison. I'm not sure if Sayunchu's back. They're 3 of their key players.
Sayunchu's back.
Sayunchu back. All right, let's take 2. I've watched Leicester. I watched them against Arsenal. They should have got beat. We've seen them get beat by Spurs. They are not playing well at all. Like, we should, if United don't, there has to be serious questions asked. So it's like, yeah, Ollie must be sat because top 4 is literally in our hands. Exactly. And look at the running we had. And then you got everybody back fit. Pogba's back fit. Rashford's back fit. You have to finish in the top 4.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, it's true. If we don't get that, if we don't get top 4 with the players what he's had, with Bruno have the Bruno effect, with Pogba coming back, Rashford back, Greenwood stepping up to the plate, the easy running we've had. If we don't actually get top 4, they need to look at it seriously because for me now, there's no reason why we shouldn't. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, fully. All right, so let me ask you then. We'll start with you, Straw, actually, before you get your point off. Who's going to get them 2 out of those 3 teams? Who's going to get the 2 spots?
Chelsea United.
Chelsea United. What are you saying?
For top 4?
Yeah, top 4, yeah.
Yeah, Chelsea United.
Okay, I think the same. I think Chelsea
Don't be surprised, though, if you finish 3rd.
I wouldn't be. We should finish 3rd.
No, I think we'll finish 4th.
With the running we've had, we should have finished 3rd. Like, if we would have just beat Southampton, it's in our hands. We should have beat Southampton. Should have been done and dusted. Should have been done and dusted. Yeah, it should have been done and dusted and that. That's what I'm saying. It should have been done and dusted, but it's not because the manager we have isn't up to scratch. That's what it is. Beat Southampton at home. See that? That's how you know people don't rate Ollie. Look at the games we are talking about that Manchester United have to win to finish in the top 4. Beat Southampton at home. Beat West Ham, I'm guessing it's away.
Mm-hmm.
Don't lose to Leicester.
Exactly.
Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy.
Nah, West Ham's at home.
Oh, West Ham's at home then.
Leicester away.
Leicester. But yeah, it's a struggle. I don't understand why it's a struggle. No idea why it's a struggle. No idea whatsoever. So you're both saying that, yeah? United, Chelsea are the 2.
Yeah, they're my 2. Definitely.
United, Chelsea are the 2.
Yeah, 100%.
I would say so. I said it. But if he doesn't, he should be held accountable. Same way if he does do it, he should be praised. If Ollie finishes top 4, I'll praise him. I'll come on the show and say, even though I don't believe you are good enough for this job, you have done a good job. But that being said, if United finish 5th and he wins the Europa League, same again. You deserve your shot. I'm being fair across the board. You got 2.
Which is all you can be.
You have 2 shots.
Here's my thinking though.
Go on. Go on.
He messes up 2 shots.
Oh, if he misses both, you got to go.
What is he doing to David De Gea yesterday?
Yeah. If he misses up 2 shots, because you got 2 shots at this, and Mourinho, who everyone criticised, had 2 shots and made it work. You have 2 shots.
And he's got a better squad.
And you have a better squad. And you have 2 chances. Not 1 shot. Chelsea have 1 shot.
And I hate to say it, you've got the Avengers.
Leicester have 1 shot. And we have the Avengers. If you turn this into Infinity War, that's on you. Marvel reference for people who don't know.
Yeah, we got the Avengers, but we got like De Gea and Lindelof, man, turning into the preventers, fam.
They just the what's it called? They the Marvel characters we don't really like. You know what I'm saying? Your Captain Marvels, Falcons, War Machine.
Whoa, leave Falcon, man. Leave Falcon alone.
Yo, Falcon, man, he's
It's new Captain America.
Yeah. Yeah, let's not go into that and turn it into a Marvel show. But yeah, we'll see. And relegation, who do you think's gonna get relegated, Struck?
Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth are done.
Okay, so Norwich have already gone, so you reckon it's Bournemouth and who else?
Bournemouth, no firepower whatsoever. Which is, to be honest, if Bournemouth go, it's interesting to see the mass exit that they're going to have. Callum Wilson won't stay there. Ryan Fraser is going on a free transfer. Ake looks like he's already in the shop window. They've got a good, solid players there. And it'd be interesting. Like Josh King, he won't stay there. He'll get picked up by someone like Everton.
Right,
Can I just say that Everton. That is his style. Not Manchester United. Everton.
Here's the thing though. So Bournemouth. So Norwich have already gone. You reckon Bournemouth, and who do you reckon the third will be?
I hope. West Ham can't go, which I'm devastated about.
Yeah.
But I hope Aston Villa.
Why do you hope Aston Villa?
It's just the whole way the way they handled the Leeds United situation last season with the whole.
Go on, elaborate.
So listen, we all know the rule.
You play in overtime, man. This is drive time, people.
You play to the ref's whistle, yeah.
Yeah.
So an incident happened. Referee didn't blow the whistle. Leeds United scored. This is in a crucial playoff game.
Yeah.
They then make Leeds give them a goal back. Or Marcelo Bielsa, being the sportsman that he was, said, "Look, I'm not happy with this. Let's give you a goal back." That's fine. Yeah. Bear in mind, it cost Leeds promotion, but that just shows the integrity that Bielsa has for himself and his players. Go to the Sheffield United result, where the goal goes clearly in the net. VAR doesn't give it. Where's the same respect there? Where's the giving the goal? Nowhere to be seen. So I know where you can go. You can take your badge and go back to the Championship.
Alright, fair enough. Yeah, this is very petty, but you make very valid points. Very valid points. And we got to touch on Leeds. Unfortunately, I can't believe I got to do this, but congratulations to Leeds to getting back in the Premier League.
We can do that in the podcast because there's something I want to show you.
Go back down again.
It's like swallowing fire.
Go back down. No. I have no.
That is one thing I am going to enjoy.
Leeds.
Like I will dance on. I'm already dancing on their grave. I hope they don't come up and.
I have no qualms over Leeds. I have no.
Bielsa's a good manager though.
Yeah, he is. But
we'll discuss this in the podcast.
Peas. This is what you need. Peas. It's not. You know what? The good manager can do you a bit. Yeah. If you ain't, he can't come up.
Sheffield United didn't really have that much money to spend.
Do you know why though? They have a system which is, if you look at it, it's not built to dominate a game. It's not built to it. It's built to frustrate. Yeah. Leeds want to come up in the Prem and play football. Not happening. Not happening. So if this guy wants to play champagne football with Prosecco footballers, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's not happening, fam. So we'll see. You will see. I have no qualms or no threats over Leeds, fam. I have no like. Nothing in the back of my mind which is like JV saying warnings about Leeds.
He's trying to play champagne football with Prosecco footballers. Oh, but I get what you're saying with that. And that's made me feel better about it. So I hope that they get relegated straight away so I can have an absolute party.
I don't think they'll get relegated straight away.
I see that. I've got a feeling with the manager they have, they're not going to. And I think they will
that's the reason why I'm saying it. Because
I can see them coming up, doing a Sheffield United, doing a Wolves-esque.
Nah, I don't think they'll do that standard where they'll get Europa League or they'll be pushing for. I just think they'll be 12th to 9th, that kind of level. But I do not think they'll get relegated.
Yeah, but we have
too good.
We have run over a little bit here, people. But salute to everybody who has tuned in.
Salute.
We'll be back next week. Obviously, we're here every Monday, 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. from a Third Eye View on Pi Radio.
Peace.
Pi Radio gang, it's JV from a Third Eye View on Pi Radio, Manchester's #1 football show, live to you every Monday 7 till 9 with me, JV, that's me, Flawless, and Mr. Stato Bloodstraw, yeah? Make sure you lock in.